A divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are used to inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitution laws of free national governments and cling to names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind of their forefathers. Divine and national principles that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by the government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the states, governments, and not under a granted privilege as has been existing conditions for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. For they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to citizens alone, and without your national citizenship by name and that stand for national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people and have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am dependent on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government, claiming names, principles that they are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, and it is no more than right that the laws should be enforced upon other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there as there and ask for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, exiled. Any group of people that fails to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. The word Negro alludes in Latin language for the word nigger, the same as the word color alludes to anything that is painted, burnished, or dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through These names have never been recognized by any true American citizens of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at the time without power with the Constitution body of power. In that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens. So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are that are being performed in the North American by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government being more wisely prepared by more geniuses, citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man, that they have never done them any good, but that have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all truthfully American citizens to help me remove this great sin which has been committed and is practiced by my people in United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way. And without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them so socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. In the present condition of their endeavorment, which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world, they would not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought for the Southerners for all these great missions. But I have traveled in the South and have examined my conditions there. And it is works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on true American citizens for my moral support, finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light.
Islam. Before we continue, let me greet everybody that chimed in. Brother Brian, peace and love.
Peace and love.
Brother and sister Taraji Bay and Kabaka Bay, peace and love. Nazir L, peace and love.
Blessings, brother. Peace and love, brother. Peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love, brother.
Peace and love.
Oh, Benjamin Bay, peace and love.
Peace and love, bro. How you doing? Or everybody?
All is well. All is well. Make sure I got everybody. Whoever, if I miss somebody, just peace and love, and that's all I love. Divine Constitution of Moorish America. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws With the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of Moorish America, the assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey thereby. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this government and know that they are not Negroes, colored folk, Black people, or Ethiopians, Latinos, Indians, Native Americans, etc., because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted into 1865 during that time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become part and parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of uplifting fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. So, I'm gonna reiterate because a lot of new people came. So essentially, I'm gonna go through the demonstration that I'm gonna go through, and then Empress Nine Nail is gonna talk about the potential grant for land and housing, the prerequisites to that. One of those prerequisites is having a meeting like this on the record, letting our members and associates of our body politic know. It's open for Q&A, but she'll go into more detail. So that'll be after I finish my demonstration for today. Brother Brian, if you want to pick up from where you left off, we had a timeline of history of Moors.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And just to kind of sum up, because we have a new audience, we have an El Salvadorian audience today. I wanted to tie in the fact that the timeline is very crucial. Right now, we're going to be in the 7-Elevens, or people that is in what is now called Spain. Most people call it Spain today, how the Moors were there.
Yeah,
We're going to go through what we were responsible for.
North
But
Africa. Yeah.
Right.
Let me
But
see.
prior to this, our people were in the Americas, the Olmecs, right? Mayans, Aztecs were in that area first and established clans. One of those clans is the Almoravid. That was the clan of Moors that built the Alamo in what is now called Texas. Before we went into Al-Andalus, and start doing what we're about to go into now. That's what I want to talk about for the El Salvadorian brothers, to let you know it's a connection.
Yeah.
You know, um, so now, yeah, I want to lay the foundation. So now we're in the 700s now. Now we're talking
Okay.
about, yeah.
711 under Tariq, they crossed into Spain in 711 and without difficulty overran the Cumberland Visigothic kingdom of Roderick. In 732, they spread beyond the, how do you say that, Pyrenees? Into France, where they were turned back at Tours by Charles Martel in 732. Battle of Tours is mentioned, the most decisive world battle fought between the Moors and the Christian Crusaders. In 756, Abdur-Rahman I established the Umayyad dynasty at Cordoba. Cordoba. The emirate became under Abdur-Rahman III, the Caliphate of Cordoba. The court there grew in wealth, splendor, and culture. The regent Al-Mansur in the late 10th century waged a bitter warfare with the Christians of North Spain, where from the beginning, the Mohammedan conquest had met with its only opposition. The cities of the south, Toledo, Cordoba, and Seville, speedily became centers of the new culture and were famed for their university and architectural treasures.
Real quick.
Art.
So real quick, it's Toledo, Cordoba, and Seville.
Okay.
Toledo, what you're gonna start noticing is the cities are over here. Like when you go to Ohio, Toledo is one of the cities, right? So you're gonna start, as you start going through the Moorish history and start seeing the different areas, you're gonna say, oh wait, a lot of this stuff is over here. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. With the exception of brief periods, there was, however, no strong central government. The power was split up among descending local leaders and factions. Indicates that the Moors fought with each other for ruling power. In 1031, the Caliphate fell in 1031, and the Almoravides in 1086 took over Mohammedan Spain, which throughout the world periodically closely connected and ruled with Morocco. Indicates an empire was placed and Moors continued to fight with each other. Almoravides, how do you pronounce that word correctly?
Almoravides.
Almoravides are Moors. In 1174, Almoravid control slowly declined, and by 1174 was supplanted by the Almohades. How do you say that again?
Almohads. Almoravid, and you got Almohads, the two clans of Moors.
Almoravids and Almohads. These successive waves of invasion have brought into Spain thousands of skilled artisans and industrious farmers who contribute largely to the intermittent prosperity of the country. They were killed or expelled in large numbers to the great loss of Spain in the Christian reconquest, which began with the recovery of Toledo by Alfonso VI, King of Leon and Castile.
Keep in mind, we're saying the conquest or the reconquest. This is the 1100s. When you fast forward to the 1400s, you're going to see the conquistadors. Because we know the story that our empire fell in 1492, right?
Yeah.
But they came over here after that, and it shows you that the empire was all connected because they defeated a piece of our empire, so they came to the headquarters to the Americas to try to get some more, right? So the reason I'm highlighting that because we need to know that when we're explaining the history, to show that the empire was connected from the Americas to what most people think is Africa and Spain and North Africa, So in 1492, they came over here, right? Cuba, right? So it's called the Reconquest in 1172. Once they successfully conquest in 1400s, they do the conquest. The doors came over here and start colonizing our people in South America, the islands. So now you see the connection of how the Spaniards, quote unquote, or the Roman rulers that sent their generals west of Rome, they knew it was an empire. They knew about the Moorish Empire and how they took a pivotal piece in Spain, or what we call Al-Andalus. So they came to get some more, to see if they could get some more. But of course, we fought them off because, of course, we had treaties at 1700. So of course, for 500 years, we had it on lock. They got a little bit, they did some damage, but we didn't fully lose our power to like the 1800s. But we need to know the story though of what led up to our decline. And if there's any questions, please just, as we're going through this, just ask them, because we're just going through bullet point timelines, and whatever comes to my mind, I'm just going to put it out there. But outside of that, if anybody else has any thoughts, because the whole key here is to get, if you got a fez or a turban, you walking down the street, somebody hits you with historical questions, are you going to be able to answer it as the Moor? So this is the purpose of the temple. The meetings is to get clarity on anything really, but history, law specifically. Ask questions, please.
Because they had a period of time. I remember when I was young, I was reading world history, and they were talking about how they would go to these various West African universities to learn, like Timbuktu and this, I forget this area in Ghana. So it was a slow, gradual chipping before it's not just an all-out single conquest, like a decisive battle. It's a slow chipping of centuries of concerted efforts to weaken global power, right?
Yeah, our empire slowly fell.
Slowly, okay. And that could take hundreds of years, which is the case here.
Right. Exactly. If nobody else has any thoughts on that, you can continue.
The Almoravids, Berber Muslim dynasty that ruled Morocco and Muslim Spain in the 11th and 12th century. Its real founder was Abdullah ibn Yassin, who by force of arms converted some sub-Saharan tribe to his own reformed religion and then advanced on Morocco. After his death in 1059, Yusuf ibn Tashif and his brother Abu Bakr came to power. Marrakesh was founded in 1062 and was the center of a powerful empire. Yusuf was called by the Moors in Spain to help stem Christian reconquest. Yusuf entered Andalusia and defeated in 1086 Alfonso VI of Castile. Later, he subdued the local Muslim rulers and governed Muslim Spain with North Morocco. The Almoravids were rough and puritanical, contemptuous of the luxurious Muslim culture in Spain. Their rule was never entirely stable, and in the 12th century was attacked by the Almohads, who finally, by 1174, won both Morocco and Muslim Spain.
Okay, so let's stop right here and marinate on this paragraph. So things that stood out to me, Alfonso I of Castile. When you look Alfonso, I'm not the first, it says Alfonso VI of Castile. When you look him up, it's going to make you think that this is a modern European, blind, blue-eyed person. This was a Moor, a Christian Moor. Today they will call this man mulatto. So this was infighting. Politically, they're going to call it the Muslims versus the Christians. We're talking about ideology. The Moors that kept the ancient culture, the ancient principles, were referred to as the Muslim, just in general, or our people that adopted Roman ideology, the Constantines and the crew. And this is before it was a pope in the sense of like the Vatican. They had Roman emperor. So Constantine was a Roman emperor. They had the Roman Empire, right?
Yeah.
So that was a clash against who they'll call the Punic Wars, or they'll call us the Carthage versus Rome, right? These are two Moors beefing with each other, two ideologies of Moors. One got the ancient mind frame, one has the, puppet government, perversion, the Roman, what Yahshua was saying, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. we're not with that Roman stuff. Get back to your ancient culture. That's what Yahshua, our brother, was saying. Most people call him Jesus. But most people would think when we say Roman, we're talking about blonde hair, blue eyed people in a sense of like in that type of context. But people need to know that wasn't the case. That's one aspect that I want to talk about. Um, but also another one was that Island Deleuze, we just need to know it wasn't called Spain. We're just saying Spain because most people we know or most people know that area to be Spain, but it wasn't Spain to after 1492. That's another point. Island Deleuze. And once again, I mentioned in the beginning, Alamo, Alha, and Almoravides are two clans. When you say the Alamo, that was a clan of Moors that built that mosque, that historical mosque in Texas, was today called Texas. So I'm showing you that when we say North Africa, it's not how they're talking about it today. The Americas, North America is North Africa. Before we talk about the earthquakes, we already did the demonstration as far as for previous, lessons as far as why does North Africa, the context of Africa, Africa in Latin just means terra, and that just means land. The original governments of our people was over here. That's why the pyramids is older over here, the whole nine, right? So, and the Kingdom of Morocco that they speak of after 1956 was after World War II. It was a French protectorate. So when we say Morocco in these dates, 1059, 1086, 1174. When we're talking Morocco,
That's
we're
the
talking
real
about
one.
we're talking about the Americas. And the fact that that's why I keep bringing up the mosques is in modern day Texas, or when before it was called Texas, it was called Mexico. Before it was called Mexico, it was the Kingdom of Mexico. Before it was the Kingdom of Mexico, it was Khalifa territory. Before it was Khalifa territory, it was ran by the what? The Olmecs and the Mayans. Olmecs and the Mayans had fezzes on, turbans, Moorish headdresses, Moors in America, right? So that's 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 how we got to look at it and explain it to the people and show them that. Then we went to north, east or southeast or Asia Minor, right? We traveled, but remember the Atlantic Ocean wasn't the Atlantic Ocean at this time. It was a lot. These lands were a lot closer over here, so that's why people think like we have, their mind is separated, like over there and over here. So that's why we have to grasp these concepts to talk about that. Northwest Africa, reference anciently, is not what Northwest Africa, what people think of today. All right. And that's all the highlights for me. If anybody else got, let me check the chat, see what everybody's talking saying. Brother Dupac put something in the chat, the Sultan of Tenochtitlan, right? Right. And you went over something when the rocks cry out, I believe the author laid the foundation, how it was Arabic scripts in Cuba, mosque, how Christopher Columbus, when he came to Cuba, he saw all these mosques with these Arabic scripts and, the pyramids and all the gold and all that stuff. So, uh, Islam, can we go over how to present yourself in court? Okay. Yes, we'll do that too. All right. So, if nobody else has anything they want to chime in, just go ahead with the demonstration. Brother Brian.
Okay.
Oh, Brother Hassan, peace and love, brother.
Peace
I'm
and love. See how you feeling?
As well, man. Good to see you. I see you with the feds too. Seen that feds.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Got that new joint, huh? Yeah.
Hold on.
That's right. That's right. Almohades, the Berber Muslim dynasty that ruled Morocco and Spain in the 12th and 13th century. It had its origins in puritanical sects founded by Muhammad ibn Tumar, who circa 1120 stirred up the tribes of Atlas to purify Islam and oust the Almoravides. His successor Abu Yusuf II and Yaqub I succeeded in conquering Morocco and Muslim Spain, and by 1174, the Almohades had completely displaced the Almoravides. With time, the Almohades lost some of their fierce, purifying zeal. Jacob had a rich court and was the patron of Averroes. Jacob defeated in 1195 Alfonso the Seventh of Castile in the Battle of Alarcos. But in 1212, the Almohades army was defeated, and the Almohades power in Spain was destroyed by the victory of the Spanish and the Portuguese at Navas de Tolsa. In Morocco, they also lost power, there to the Marine dynasty, who took Marrakesh in 1269.
Peace and love to Ilian Bey. I didn't realize he was in here too.
Peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love to Sis IFL as well. All right. Okay. I'm gonna cut this section a little short since we do have another demonstration. I feel like that's enough history for now for us to digest into next week for that historical aspect. Okay. Going to this court case real quick. Islam, Empress Lakeisha, peace and love. Okay, so I'm highlighting this court case. This court case was, we marinated on this court case a couple months ago. And I want to reiterate the court case and why it's important. So this is Hornstein versus Linham. This is an 1879 case. All right, this is a Supreme Court case. So let's just scroll through and marinate on some principles that we can utilize as more. All right, so one of the highlights, the principles of this case: in absence of proof that an alien has become a citizen of the United States, his original status is presumed to continue. Okay. You have nationality card on your person, fez, turban, national flag of origin, in arm's reach. It's all in your house, on your car. You have your national headdress on, fez or turban. You have a nationality. Any type of litigation, for whatever reason, you never know how life, you never know. You may need to stand on principles to assert your political status. The reason I'm highlighting this court case is because one of the principles in this case was you have to prove, in order to be denationalized, they have to prove it. If they're trying to say you're a U.S. citizen or you're that person on the driver's license or whatever type of stunt that they try to pull to make you appear that you don't have a nationality and that you're a corporate ward/citizen, you need to display competence that you're not that. So this is amongst other things. And of course, the new people that are on here can't give you everything in one day, but you can't ask questions that may, you can't ask a question. But other than that, it's, so we can use this to assert citizenship on why we're not U.S. citizens, which would invoke the fact that the municipal court is not the proper venue and we need to adjudicate this matter on a federal level. So let's keep scrolling down here. What else was important in this case? Oh, what do we have here? It was also ruled upon that the treaty is the supreme law of the land. And by its terms, we don't got to keep reading no more. But we are going to keep reading, but I'm going to stop here and just piece this thing together. So treaties are the supreme law of the land. That was ruled upon. That was an element that was ruled upon in this case. Why is that important? Moors have multiple treaties that will govern any situation where any dispute with a foreigner, especially if the foreigner happens to be the United States, we have treaties to regulate if there was if there was foul play. It was ruled upon that that will be the deciding contract if any dispute. In this case, it was a treaty between Switzerland and the United States. And this Hallstein was saying that you know, so basically it was a deceased Switzerland citizen, and the property was supposed to go to the heirs of that Switzerland citizen, and there was a dispute over the municipality taking over, and essentially it was ruled upon that the dispute of the basis of the dispute lies in the treaty between Switzerland and the United States. It's a long story short. And look at this. You see the word Escheater? Who's the Escheater in this case?
States.
The state. The state was the corporate state was the Escheater, right?
Right.
And whoever don't know what Escheater is, because like I said, new people on here, that's when a foreigner claim land because there isn't an heir competent enough to claim it.
Right.
Or heirs or a community of heirs, which are people in our case, we're in our own land, but our people think they're Black, Negro, color, Latino, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Indian, Native American. They don't work together. They don't know the trust law. Don't set up businesses with each other, right? So that's the condition of our people. So the escheator in that case would be the corporate state, the state, the municipality, the county, the city of, right? They control our lands because they're organized, and we're not.
Yeah, it says cheat right there in there.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Just look up escheator in law. It's going, whoever's not familiar with that. Okay. That where a treaty admits of two constructions, one restrictive as to rights that may be claimed under it, and the other liberal, the latter is preferred, right? That treaty making clause of the Constitution is retroactive, as well as prospective. So immediately, once anybody invoking the treaty, any nationality of people that has a treaty with the United States, and they invoke that, it's retroactive. That means immediately they're supposed to shift gears. Their local laws don't matter. Their local anything local just gets blown out the water if it's not in harmony with what's within the treaty. That's why I'm bringing this court case up. This is why this court case is important. Look at this. Look at this. An inquisition of Escheat was prosecuted by the Escheater for the district. So they're saying the DA is inquisition. This case is what? Are we hearing this? So we're talking about the conquistadors, right? These we took it from history that were the conquistadors.
Yeah.
Look up the Spanish Inquisition. The Pope, the Rome, the sin, his generals, foot soldiers back then, an attempt to colonize the Aboriginal people and turn them Catholic and make them adopt a culture that's not theirs, and right?
Can I give the definition of escheat?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, escheat in the Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. It's in feudal law. Escheat is an obstruction of the course of descent. Very important. Okay, the land naturally results back by canon reversion to the original grantor. In an American law, escheat signifies a reversion of property to the state in consequence of a want of an individual competent to inherit. At the very end, the word escheat in this country at the present time merely indicates the preferable right of the state to an estate left vacant, and without there being anyone in existence able to make claim thereto.
Lack of a competent heir, right? It's vacant.
Right. They said they're saying it's vacant, but it's never vacant. They tell you to abandon it, or they try to kick you out. They put a foreclosure sign on it or something on there.
Right. So but yeah, that's excellent. I'm glad you read that. I appreciate you reading that too, man.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Go
It's
ahead.
about construction. in legal terms, what does it mean to construct? Because I remember the brother was talking about it earlier. How they construct documents to different levels. What does it mean to construct a document at a legal level?
I mean, construction just means put together. Construct.
Right.
So
There's the way I see it, if I may, the way I see it, there's law, which is, that's lawful. Then there's what's the other one? Legal. Legal is not always lawful, but lawful is lawful. So
Okay.
what we're doing is using treaties and so forth. We're using the Constitution that goes to treaties to construct our documents. Where they're using codes, statutes, regulations, ordinance, anything they make, like UCCs and so forth, that would try to be in harmony with it. So
Yeah.
does that make sense or not?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank
Okay.
and in this case law too, they reference Article 6, what we talked about last week, the supremacy clause dealing with treaties or the supreme law of the land.
There you go. See, so use law.
Yeah, use law in a lawful sense, not in a legalist construct
Right.
full sense. Like, okay, yeah.
But do you know the
Could we
difference?
also use the rights of indigenous people too? Can we use that?
Yes, that's a
Trying to do
laws.
certain things.
Laws contract. Okay, laws contract that's been agreed upon and signed upon. Does that make sense? More or less, it's God's law, like breathing, drinking water, sleeping.
Yeah.
Those are just laws that you. So whatever contracts they have agreed to it. So therefore, that is law.
Okay.
So now, if let's say I go out and build my own company and I make all these policies, right? I cannot place them on you because those are personal for my own company.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
if
you're
you're
hired
not
under that company. Yeah.
right, so if you're not part of that company, those laws, codes, statutes, whatever that I made do
Regulations.
not apply to you or anybody else. You have to be part of the company or part of the gang. That's basically
Part of the
it.
body, right?
Yes, right.
To be
You have to be
governed by the head.
Yes, you have to
Okay.
agree to what I'm saying. You have to agree to the policy that I wrote out.
Yeah, and real quick, it's just stuff that's popping out right here. It was clearly the intention of the clause in question in the Treaty of 1850. That was the one with Switzerland. To the beneficiaries, absolutely the right to sell said property. So that was what was in question, because like I say, the corporate state said they had action in the said property because the person was deceased, but they didn't know that it was in in trust contractually, and it was a treaty involved, which was another trust. That's a trust too, actually. The treaty document is a trust document, right, of their ancestors that show that it was how things were going to be disputed, right? So in our case, it's the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. We got 1836 was the last one. The one before that was 1786, revised in 1787. Then we have treaties before that, which was like, the Moors with Netherlands, the Moors, and the Moroccan Empire in England. So the Treaty of Tripoli. There's multiple treaties, and each one have different unique language, but they all apply. Okay, I think we get the point, but it's more stuff through here. I'm just letting you know the importance of this case law, so we can use this as supplemental, as well. Because they're gonna be like, "Oh, you have any case authorities?" That's a cute. When you go to these municipalities, they're gonna be like, "You have any case authorities?" That's just we say res judicata instead of decisive. Things that have already been adjudicated on. They're gonna say, whatever I just said, some case authorities or something like that.
Right.
So we want to hit them on all levels. We're gonna hit them with the supremacy clause. So the supremacy clause say this: we don't care about case laws right now. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. I'm going to include case laws just so I can hit them over the head from all angles. So you would introduce this case just to reintroduce Article 6, because in this case it said what? It was ruled upon that what? All treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. So anything that's not in harmony,
Article 6.
Article 6 is in this case, is embedded in this case, right? That was ruled upon in 1879. See what I mean? But you got to cherry pick through case law sometimes just to use this as a now we can use this as a precedent, you know? So back to the being to study more when you're in these courts. Back to being competent before you try any of this stuff. Know what you're doing. I see a question in the chat. Let me check the chat. Let me see. Oh, you got go ahead, brother. B2.
Pertaining to
Uh,
Mos.
I get that a lot too.
Somebody.
You got to break that down, Mom, because when I be talking to people, they always ask me, are you Muslim or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Break that down for me.
Oh, is this okay? I see. Is this pertaining to Muslims? I would rather him talk because I'm not sure the context as far as like,
Oh
is he
no,
talking about this
no,
general?
I'm just asking if all this information is pertaining to the lines of Muslim or like you said, national like a brotherhood.
Yeah, learning nationality and brotherhood, nation state. We're Moors by nationality, you know, and the division is the misnomer, you know, the black, the Negro, the color, person of color, Hispanic, Latino, Puerto Rican, Indian, or all these misnomers divide our people for working together. And like I say, Moors are around the world. So like I told you when I met you, any nationality can trace their ancestry back to the Moor. There's no, to our original man, melanated man. Um, so when you say Muslim, I'm gonna assume that you mean like religion, right? So no, it's not. It's not down. It's not a religious group. It's a national jurisdiction, nationality, culture, political status, different treaties that our people had. That's what we're talking about right now, as far as in case law. But like I say, it's a lot of prerequisite oriented. I should have did an orientation with you because there's a lot of information that you just don't know about at this moment, but you will. I also wrote a book too that I think you should read that covers some bullet point things too. But yeah, that. Any other how you feel about
Thank
that,
you.
brother? Any other questions?
May I chime in on it?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The U would represent the religion aspect of it, right? Where the O is more of the science, MOSLEM, right? So when we say MOS, it's muscles, organs, skeleton. LEM is ligaments, electrical system, and magnesium, which is a fetus, and that's what we're saying. See the little red, the turban he's got on his head right there, Mafi, right? So that red represents when we're coming out the female in the umbilical cord. That's what it represents for us being Muslim with an O, not a U. Does that make sense for you?
Umbilical cord coming out the womb, right?
Right. That would be a Muslim, MOS, not MUS.
I low-key said the same thing in a sense right before we came on. He had chimed in a little earlier. Yeah, that's crazy as you chose. Yeah, I said the same thing too. That's crazy. I did the same demonstration, the acronym, what it means for us. So from an ancient perspective, everybody's a Muslim. Everybody has ligaments. Everybody's magnetism, and
Right.
ancient,
So,
you know,
and Noble Drew Ali said it's a science temple. We're dealing with science. We're not dealing with belief here. We're going to be able to prove it.
Exactly.
So you need to prove it. It's not what you know; it's what you can prove. So it's my regrets.
Right. And I'll also say too, B2, any questions that you have, like it'll be better to approach it like that, like with direct questions. So it won't be no gray areas, as well. Um, all I did when I met you was summarize what we were about. Like I say, it's so much info that I'm not, we're gonna present information on a weekly basis on like a curriculum, just having something queued up. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure everybody's competent on all areas. So like somebody's put in the chat earlier, can we talk about etiquette and going to court. So I'm gonna go over that. That's something specific. So that's what I'm looking for is that, you know. Brother Justin, peace and love. Justin Bay. Yeah,
Peace and love. Peace and love.
peace and love. All right, so that's that case law. So that's how we can use Holstein versus Linham. Right. Everybody clear on how we can utilize that? Make pretty good sense. And I know for the new people, y'all haven't seen the treaty, peace and friendship between our people. You know, I know you're probably not familiar with the background story of how the 13 colonies and the pilgrims, how they got here, how they were allowed to even be here. You might not know that background. You might not know the background of our sultan and emperor in these lands had diplomatic relationship with the head of England, Queen Elizabeth I, had a trade of natural resources and allowed her subject citizens, which were blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, Slavs, to essentially carry out jail sentences on the East Coast in America. Her successor was King James I. So that's why that first English colony was called Jamestown. And this is the 1600s. So that's the first colony. And when you reference Othello the Moor, it's a Shakespeare play called Othello. It's going to be talking about what I'm talking about in a more satire way. They're gonna make it look like it was a love affair between the Moor, Othello, and but in actuality, it was just a diplomatic relationship. Queen Elizabeth was a mulatto. She wasn't a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person, essentially a sister, but it was a Christian Moor. And we traded natural resources, allowed her subject citizens, which were blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, which we call Slavs, right? They would carry out their jail sentences in colonies in America. The first colony was called Jamestown. Now you know why. The second colony, same situation. Our Sultan in America and King Louis of France, same situation, allowed French Slavs to carry out jail sentences in a jurisdiction called Louisiana. Now we got 2 colonies. So when we keep moving forward, they're going to end up being 13 colonies of Slavs, blonde-haired, blue-eyed subjects, Irish subjects, British subjects. But now you know how they got here. It was based on a negotiation with the Emperor of America, and not just North America, the Americas, elected official, a sultan, diplomatic relationship with various European powers to allow their Slavs, their exiles, the people that they sent to jail, the people they call vagabonds, Quakers, etc., pilgrims, to carry out jail sentences on the East Coast of America, based on our sultan allowing that to happen. So now, when we talk about treaties, when we talk about Article 6, just know that we got a treaty with the people that declared their independence and declared themselves detached from that, organized amongst themselves, and called their DBA, doing business as the United States of America, or USA. But these are Europeans. This ain't France, this ain't Britain, right? So this is pilgrims that organized themselves and called their business United States of America. That entity entered into a treaty with the home team. Treaty of Peace and Friendship. One of the treaties, right? And
Here we go, Mafi.
Okay, go ahead.
Mafi. So you said the Declaration of Independence, right? They clearly gave up their nationality, their flags, their land, blah, 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 right? So what are they now?
Refugees.
Stateless people.
Right.
See, so they're not Americans. I apologize. They're not Americans.
Not Americans, right? Right. And that was a commercial rundown. I just gave you just a commercial rundown. Technically, it wasn't July, the Declaration of Independence. It was a Treaty of Paris, where they actually, where they allowed them to basically, it wasn't like they just say they agree, like, oh, you know what, we'll give you that. Go ahead. So, but I gave you enough bullet points just to let you know, like, it wasn't tents and teepees over here. It wasn't just some savage Indians. We didn't get shit from Africa. We didn't get brought here. That's not how melanated people got here. In fact, the crew that's claiming that, you're gonna start reading in letters that you will read letters from George Washington to our Sultan. And he'll talk about how they didn't even have a navy like that. They didn't even have nothing. These was pilgrims. These was front workers, right? That got exiled from their former governments that they was in Europe. Slavs, right? The melanated people taught them high science, how to bathe, etc. Right? They playing musical chairs by making it seem like, oh, we the slaves that got brought here, didn't know how to do nothing. Right? But we built up everything. Last time I checked construction, that's high math. That's not just some basic math. So which one is it? Right. So that but like I said, you can't learn everything. I just want to do a little demo just to give you a sense of why we're highlighting this case as far as treaty. Now we had a treaty. People of the land that think they black, Negro colored, really a part of a vast estate, an empire, sultans, caliphs over here. Pyramid builders of this land had treaties with the foreigners, which dictated any type of disputes that we may have. So I think that was a good background, summarized background. But like I say, it's nonstop. It's for life. We want to make sure your gray area is not gray no more. We'll keep reiterating this stuff. But yeah, okay, let me check the chat. I just missed some heat. Nah, you're all right. We just letting the brother know about the treaties, man. We got some people on here that's a blank canvas. And just summarize some things. So I think we good on this case law. So
No,
let's
it's
go.
Islam. Islam. I'm just saying that the way you talking about it, bro. Yeah, it's coming though. Like I hear it.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. What we do it for, man?
Right. That's all I wanted to say. I yield the floor.
Islam. Y'all love this, man. Love this. Now we talked about this a couple months ago too, but somebody brought it up. I think Brother Hassan brought it up as far as when Moors is in court. Another reason why the municipal state courts are not the proper venue. Where is the Attorney General? I watched the last recording from and I fell out laughing. Hassan just blurted out, "Where the Attorney General?" So I just wanted to bring this up again. So we're dealing with 28 CFR. CFR stand for Code of Federal Regulations. Okay, we're going to that too. So this is so for Tahaka Bay and Islam, word there. I didn't see you was up in there. Peace and love. Hanuna, peace and love. Who else? Who else had any? I think I greeted everybody else. Okay, so yeah, for Raji Bay and Kabaka Bay, this is an element to that question that you wanted me to go over. This is something, and I'm gonna summarize, but this is the element that you can use in your writs. You can verbalize competently in open court. So let's go over this. Code of Federal Regulations, Title 28, subsection 64-1, central or competent authority under treaties and executive agreements on mutual assistance in criminal matters. The Assistant Attorney General, Criminal Division, in consultation with the Assistant Attorney General for National Security and matters related to the National Security Division activities, shall have the authority and perform the functions of the central authority or competent authority under treaties. So, right, in the actual treaty, it says plenipotentiary. It talks about, because at the time of the treaty, it was Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Barclay were the elected officials amongst their crew to negotiate the treaty. Today, it's called the central authority or competent authority. Today, under treaty, is going to be the Attorney General. Okay. So, any disputes where it's a person with a nationality that had a treaty. So now we went through the case law already. This is number 2. The second thing that we can use, treaty related, for people taking notes, we're talking international law. So this is something else that we can use to show, like, wait a minute, the district attorney or the DA is over this case. The DA don't represent the United States. It's a treaty matters. It needs to be for y'all, where is the Attorney General? Right. This is clearly not the proper venue. It needs to be on a federal level, clearly. Any questions on that before we move forward?
No questions.
Pretty clear? Okay. So I'm gonna go over one more slide and then I'll address the court question as far as I'm just gonna just do a verbal demonstration. Oh, yeah, I sent you Taraji Bay, I sent you the live video of a writ that I filed to give you an example how a writ coming from a body of Moors, and it was Khalifa Society, and I went through the whole writ. That's the one I got dismissed, and that it was enough in that video for you to construct a writ for yourself.
Islam.
And it will
Did
be
you
coming
say
from
it
the
in
body.
my email?
No, it's on Instagram.
Oh, okay, okay,
You check your DM on Instagram.
okay.
Just to add that, I want to throw that in there before I forgot. I just thought about that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go through one more slide and then address a demonstration, an example of how to go into court, or procedure rather. Okay, before I do that, I just want to go into, once again, for our Mexican brothers and sisters that we come across, reference this. Oh, wait 1 second. Oh no, okay. Reference, don't forget about this is an imperative document. It's a congressional globe. This has full faith and credit. House Representatives, Friday, January 8th, 1845. It's dealing with what? The annexation of Texas. Why is this imperative that we talk to our Mexican brothers and sisters about this? Well, let's read it and we'll see why. The stupendous deserts between the Neuse and the Bravo rivers are the natural boundaries between the Anglo-Saxon and the Mauritanian races. Moray. So I'm talking about different Moors, right? There ends the Valley of the West. There Mexico begins. Thence, beyond the Bravo, begins the Moorish people and their Indian associates, to whom Mexico properly belongs. So when we talking about Mexico, we talking about congressional records, facts, things that are in you can get from the Library of Congress and get certified documents of and use as exhibits in court. This is what we're talking about. In the exhibits, what are we talking about? The Moorish people or the original Mexicans, Latinos or Moors, Hispanics or Moors, right? This is how we can tie things together. Not coming from a religious perspective. Now we had culture, right? How to bring peace and maintain peace within yourself and in society, right? It's a remedy to that. That's culture. That's culture. That's culture. And most cultures bled into modern day religions anyway, and got fractionalized from a different lens and watered down. All right, so we can use this to appeal to our Mexican brothers and sisters and let them know why we need to unite. Right. I had something queued up with this, but I won't go into that today. So I'm gonna do the demonstration for court and let Nonel do her demonstration for as the grants for the land and housing for what they call quote unquote tribal communities. So once you can, first of all, you want to, if you have a court date, you want to file the writ 3 weeks before. You want to have the writ that I sent to you, Taraji, attach it with exhibits. So I like to attach exhibits. I like to attach. Like I said, I have certified copies from the Library of Congress of the treaty. I have certified copies from the Library of Congress that the 14th Amendment was never ratified, so it was unconstitutional. So therefore, nobody can be a U.S. citizen. So therefore, that's not the proper venue again, right? or the driver's license can't be you. They can't tie you to anything. They can't say you're a U.S. citizen for any reason because the 14th Amendment was not ratified, and that's what they're using as naturalization law, right? I also have Resolution 75 talking about the L's and Bays having that's a Morris title, which signifies nationality, which signifies proper venue again, right? So you'll create the writ. You can like somebody mentioned the rights of indigenous people. You can use I like to use the OAS version of the rights of indigenous people. The UN, like I say, they've been compromised in my opinion, and that's from my personal opinion. But the OAS is international as well in scope. And the verbiage in the House resolutions that are in the mayor's offices of Chicago, South Dakota, South Carolina, North Carolina, the state level of Georgia, all reference the rights of indigenous people as far as Moorish Americans can utilize that. And they also mention one of the first articles, which is the right to self-determination. We can also use that as an exhibit in court. Okay. That's the documents. That's the documents you're gonna file. Now you actually in open court, that's where back to the competent more now. You're gonna have to basically in open court without having to go like this with the paper in front of you, reading stuff. You need to just be flowing with no paper in front of you. The only thing you grabbing is like references, like, hit the case law and I got a Black's Law Dictionary right here. So, as far as terms and you're using like that, but it should be flowing. You should be able to stand on the principles on, where's the violation? You should know how to articulate that. You should know the measuring stick or the parameter to keep them in. We're talking supremacy clause. We're talking the treaty. We're talking about as any injured party, right? Any questions? Anybody got any questions?
I'm good.
Everybody competent to go?
I have one question. You said 3 weeks prior putting in your writ, and is what you're saying is just we should already be competent in it, but as well as studying up until the actual day in quote unquote court.
Yeah, I'll give you yes. Yeah, a little under a month. I would say just file it, and because what happens is they might dismiss it. They might just dismiss it, depending on how competently and sound the writ. If it ain't looking like I'm cutting it, copying and pasting and just run on, you know what I mean? If it's looking smooth, and they might just dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? So, but
and once they dismiss it, it's over, right? It's
over. You have something tangible, but
can't bring it back up.
Right. But most of the time, you're gonna have to go on open court and show some competence, and that's what it comes down to. So, like I advise everybody to let's do some mock trials. Whoever's thinking about testing their hand, we could do some mock. We can act like people can act like the judge or VA, and you can give a shot at coming into these municipalities.
Hey, that's a good idea, man. One day on the group chat, why don't we do like a live thing? Like you'll be the judge, you know what I'm saying? Because you the sheep, and you'll play like, you know what I'm saying? We trying to talk the way we need to talk in court, and you know what I'm saying? Get the competence in them. That'd be dope.
Okay.
I agree with you, Hassan.
Okay, we could do that. Do that Sunday. This next Sunday, next session. Everybody can have a turn. Yeah, everybody can have a turn. Give everybody a week to prep, and then everybody can get a shot.
Okay.
Sway, peace and love.
What's going on with y'all?
Peace and love. I believe I met you at the pop-up somewhere, Jim.
Nah, actually, that's my brother out here. He's working with me out here. This is first time jumping on, but we fellowship and things of that nature out this way. I just wanted to bring him in and introduce him to you guys.
Okay, peace and love, brother. Pleasure to meet you, man.
Peace and love, Quinn.
Return, bro.
Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Okay, yeah. Empress 9L has a demonstration dealing with land. I'll let her have the floor.
Okay, let me pull it up. Can everyone see it? Oop, let's go back.
I can see it.
Could everyone see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thumbs
well,
up.
Yeah.
Platform. I'm Non-L. So I come across some grant information that I want to present to Khalifa Society. I feel like this will help with our mission, and so I just wanted to present it to the group today. And we can leave comments and questions at the end, so that way I can collect all this information, because that's part of the grant writing process. So this is for us to get funding for housing and community development. So I'll just get into it. I have this on the left side right over here, this other PowerPoint. This is more just like reference for like if we have any questions, I can try to go through it for the tribal applicants and see what we can find. Because as I'm going through this, I'm still learning about the grant too, because I just found out about this probably like a few days ago. But I just felt like it was a good opportunity. Okay. So on today's agenda, we're going to go over what is Khalifa Society's mission statement. What is a community land trust? What is the price NOFO, which is the grant? What is the price NOFO for tribal applicants? And this is where we're going to try to go into be eligible. How does the grant apply to Khalifa Society? What's the vision, or where are we at in the process? That way we can kind of keep everyone in the loop. So for anyone that's new, we're going to go over Khalifa Society's mission statement. So the general purpose for which this association has been established is as follows. The main focus of Khalifa Society is to perform all things relating to and appropriate to portraying the overall history of our ancestors, the Olmecs, Moabites, Canaanites, and Hittites, etc., informing all Moors of their political status here in the Maghreb how do you say that? Maghreb, Al-Aqsa, America, Morocco, and the most extreme west, enlighten the minds of the fallen Moors, restoring them their in full life and propria persona sui juris status, as opposed to the mentality of a minor who is civil liter mortus. And then this bolded part right here is pretty much the kind of like the vision for the housing, right? So to promote a collective of Moorish Americans and connecting them to Khalifa Society's social and economic platform, to promote the use and moral principles and the branches of knowledge dealing with ethical awareness, and to encourage all Moorish Americans to believe in the capacity of, sorry guys. The capacity of each other to succeed in business and to encourage, support, and provide patronage in our affairs. So with the housing,
They say your screen is not sharing.
what, really?
Maybe she's on her phone. Can everybody else see the screen she's sharing?
Yeah, I can see.
I can see
I
it.
can see it.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's
Community land trust.
It's just
Yeah.
divided. It's like a half screen. We don't have the whole screen.
Flip your page back and forth. Maybe that'd be it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a split screen right now. So on one side, I have the PowerPoint that I'm presenting to the
And on
group.
the
And on the
side,
left,
you got price info. I see it. It's
Mhm.
clear.
If you turn your screen sideways, you can see both of them.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if it's on the phone.
Okay, there it is. I got it. It's long. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so with the mission statement, pretty much to kind of like Little Saigon or Little Chinatown, all that. With the housing, the idea is to get the Moors within close proximity to be able to connect everyone to Khalifa Society's trust, right? And housing for economic development, social development, cultural development, right? So that's the reason for this grant with Khalifa Society's vision. So I kind of want to go into what is a community land trust, because it's kind of like how this would operate. So a community land trust is a nonprofit corporation that develops and stewards affordable housing, community gardens, civic buildings, commercial spaces, and other community assets on behalf of the community. So anything that's put into the Khalifa Society Trust, right, any land and things like that, that will be talked amongst the community on what we want to do with it. right? So in this case, the land and housing would be under Khalifa Society Trust. Beneficiaries would be the members of the organization. And the purpose of the trust is to provide affordable housing to our tribal Moors within California to encourage cultural, social, and economic development. Let me go to the next slide. So this is kind of like a visual of the model. So that little line right there would be more like the land, and we'd put this grant is for manufactured housing. We'd own the land, and then we'd put manufactured housing and provide affordable housing that way through the community land trust model. Let's go forward. So let's get into what is this grant? This grant is called the Price NOFO, which stands for right here, the Preservation and Reinvestment Initiative for Community Enhancement, Notice of Funding Opportunity. And this is presented by HUD, which is the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And what they want to do with this grant is to seek to preserve long-term housing affordability or to redevelop manufactured housing communities. So that's the goal of this grant, affordable housing, and then to kind of work on the manufactured housing community. So what is the Price NOFO for tribal applicants? This is where I see Khalifa Society can fit in, because it seems that they have a little bit more leniency towards tribal applicants. And I feel like we can use a lot of treaties and legal documents to be able to be eligible for this. So in this grant, I believe the grant's about 265 million. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. The total grant's about like this 200 million about, but for tribal applicants, they're providing $10 million intended for Indian tribes, tribal organizations, things like that, right? We can request as a tribal applicant for a minimum of 500,000 for the housing. But we're eligible for 10 million or more. So they just kind of put this in there for tribal applicants, just so they know that part of the funding is going to have to go to tribal applicants. So in definition, what is an Indian tribe, right? So Indian tribe means a tribe that's federally recognized or state recognized. So I know as Moors, we don't use the term Indians, we don't use the term Native Americans, right? Well, that's where we were going to try to pretty much make a case. We're
Wait
going
one
to
second. Let me figure out who I got to mute. All right, go ahead. Now.
So I know we don't use those terms, right? As Moors, no, we don't say Indian, we don't say Native American, right? So the plan was to get these legal documents to let them know that they have misidentified us as Indians and Native Americans and that we are Moors, but we do still fit the description to be eligible for this grant. That was how we were planning on building up the case. And I feel like that can open up a lot of different things. And we would have to pretty much everyone in this group, we'll see how this goes. We'll kind of talk about it, see how everyone feels about it if we want to go in this direction. So I just want to keep this open. This is just something I came across and I wanted to present. But we would have to, let's see, have some resolution, some certification with a letterhead where the group in Khalifa Society says, okay, on behalf of Khalifa Society, go ahead and go forward with this to make the grant, right? And we operate as a nonprofit, so this is not for profit. This is for the public interest, and all the proceeds, everything that we do is going to be in interest of the organization to expand it. So, you have something, Elian Bay?
Yes, I do. Question. What about the 20 acres or 40 acres in a mule or the Freeman's Bureau? Is that like squashed already, or we're not looking into that, or is this? Because that's what they had for us in the beginning, was a 40 acres and a mule, the Freeman's Bureau.
I'm not too sure, but what is that? You said 40 acres and a mule?
It's the Freeman's Bureaus and refugees. It was back in the day when you woke up, they were supposed to give you a mule and 40 acres to start whatever you needed for your company, right? That was for the United States to give to us Moors. But I think they squashed it, but I mean, like took out all the money, they squandered all the money, but I believe that function is still there. So whatever they did was fraud. I just wonder if we could still use that or try to relive that or try to wake it up or something as well. I don't know. Maybe what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, Mavi, on that as well?
From my comprehension, the Freedmen's Bureau was shut down during Eisenhower's administration, like during that 1956 time. They
Right.
they did it real tactfully, where the Kingdom of Morocco got established, and then Eisenhower relinquished jurisdiction in Morocco, and then they closed the Freedmen's Bureau. It was all happening in like one time.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So
So,
don't even worry about it.
but it's things like this, like it's things that are codified that we want to. If it's shot in the dark, we don't know. We just seeing loopholes where it's a Indian tribe, but comma tribal organization. So we're trying to get in and see if we can get some grant money, see what happened. But it's a shot in the dark because our thing was, do they give grants to non-501c3 organizations? And it looked like it might be a loophole based on what we're looking at. So it's it's a shot in the dark. We'll see. But there's still still some prerequisites though, even with that. That's why she's saying we gotta have an official meeting. This will constitute the prerequisite. I'm recording the meeting. We need to get some physical signatures, put our seal from Khalifa Society, and make that official letterhead. That's one of the prerequisites for the grant. So
Good job there. Oh, everybody being here. Thank you.
Yes, and this is just something I came across, and I just want to bring it to everybody to see if we want to go forward with this, because there's a process when it comes to this. It does end on July 10th, so it is a little bit of a speedy process. But that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I feel like it's a really great opportunity for the things that we're trying to do, right? Organize. We want to organize. We need to be physically closer. We need to fix the affordable housing thing that's going on right now, because when we say time is money or money is energy, right? If we can save in the housing part, then we can free up some time and not have to work so much. We can start the think tank. We can work more on like the mission, what we're trying to do, right? So that's kind of the vision of having the affordable housing. It's to help all aspects of life and the cultural development and stuff. So this is a little bit more, a few more slides, and then we're gonna kind of wrap it up. But so this is just kind of like a rough draft of like the vision. There's still more to go through with the grant. But the vision is land acquisition, right? Get land either through the tax sales, through the MLS, just buying straight, land donations, however we can get land, get it in that way with the funds, right? And then put it into the Khalifa Society Trust and have the beneficiaries or the members, right? Anyone's a member of Khalifa Society, we can utilize land, put housing on it, manufactured housing, rent it out. So it's affordable for everyone, but it's still contributing, right? Second thing in the vision is affordable housing. The trust organization in Khalifa Society would steward the land and keep the manufactured housing affordable using the community land trust model. And there's other states that are using community land trusts for affordable housing. So I've been doing a lot of research into different states and communities that use this model, and why they're using it is because, people are taking over the land and they're charging up the rents, and people are being moved out. So we're trying to get everyone closer together and then to build community that way. So the vision is, after acquiring the land and affordable housing, we want to develop stability and economic development, right? So the goal is to help tribal members or beneficiaries, right, find affordable housing within Khalifa Society's housing community to encourage social, cultural, economic development. And that's where we can start having, like, we can be closer to meet up and to actually start moving around and doing things. I know we're doing things now, but I think being closer and building up business and things like that around each other, similar to Little Saigon, Chinatown, like that, right? That's what this is the start of it. This is the start of it, right? And like cultural development, to wake up fallen Moors, to connect them to Khalifa Society's platform, whether it's economically, socially, or now with housing, right? That can be an opportunity. So where are we at in the process right now? As I found out about this information about a few days ago, I just got on it real quick because I wanted to see if we can get into this. So we're applying for codes right now to be able to get access to apply to the grants. Next step was a public meeting. So that's why today I put together like a little presentation so I could show it to you guys, see what everyone thinks about the angle. If there's any concerns about, you know, the manufactured housing and things like that. And just kind of just see what you guys think. If we even want to go forward with this, right? If we decide we want to go forward with this, it's a shot in the dark, but it's free to apply. It's just 2 weeks of time investment, research and things like that, and then putting it into the application. So yeah, codes, public meetings right now, and we're gonna try to have one for next week too. And the next step would be the grant writing and the research. After that, the final submission is on July 10th. So the grant writing process is about 2 weeks, but this has been out for about a few months.
Sounds like a plan.
So for
And
tribes,
that's power.
so for tribes, the public comment, right, what we're doing right now, they have different recommendations for tribal applicants. And that's why I feel like going down this route, instead of being a regular applicant, going as a tribal nonprofit, right, going as Moors indigenous to the land, we have more leeway with things. They're more flexible. So we just, for tribal applicants, you just have to do our regular meetings. We meet on Sundays, so that can be included as public comment versus like there's a whole bunch of other things that regular applicants have to do. We would have to go by the affordability standards that's consistent with the Indian Tribes Indian Housing Block Grant Program. So that's, I'm gonna look through that, and as I'm going through this process, like I'll continue to make PowerPoints and things to keep you guys up to date, probably for the next Sunday. Cause this is going really quick. And this is just kind of like an overview so you guys get an idea of what the grant looks like. These are the ratings that they have. So this is pretty much the whole grant I had to put together. So need is 15 points, soundness of the approach, right? What's the vision? That's 50 points. And all these right here. How are we gonna, how does it affect affordability long-term? So a lot of things that go into it, but the minimum score we need to receive funding is only 70 points. The maximum score is 104. So we can miss 30 points and still be able to receive funding or be eligible, right? Depending on how things go as I'm kind of learning about it. And these are some things that HUD prioritizes. Pretty much I feel like with the vision, meet the proposal that HUD's trying to do. So it's pretty much affordable housing. There's an affordable housing crisis going on right now, and there's a lot of funds going out to pretty much create housing for everybody. So that's where we fit in. And this is just some of the research I've done to kind of start putting the grants together to answer some of their questions. Let me see. I was able to pull up, I just kind of want to show you guys where I'm at right now with it. So my sister, she's a grant writer for a nonprofit that deals with like mental health and things like that. So she's kind of helping me like piece this
That's
together
cool.
too. So she's helping me piece together like the statistics and all that to be able to put into the application. So I'm using statistics like this. For example, this is from United Way, which is a nonprofit that pretty much pushes for like financial development, right? Economic development. And they've done research in Orange County, in Greater LA, and Riverside. These are the target areas. This is where we've looked for land. We've looked for land in around Orange County, LA, and Riverside. Those are the main areas that we're looking to get the housing and stuff, right? But pretty much based off of the statistics of this nonprofit, like about 35%, 34%, right, across the board, about 30% across the board in these areas are below the real cost measures, which means that it's really hard to afford basic living based on housing, based on minimum wage. They've collected a lot of this data. So data like this, I'm going to present to the grant makers to be like, this is what's going on. This is the affordability crisis with the housing. This is how it can help the community for us to develop culturally, socially, economically, so that way we can thrive, right?
Yeah.
So
High power. High power.
so yeah, so that's I'm at the needs factor still. It's a lot of work to put into it, but I'm very willing because me personally, I'm very passionate about having affordable housing because that's something that I went through in my lifetime. Like I felt like I was very unstable with housing. So I know that's very important it's very important to have stability for economic development and growth. right? For just stability and wellness overall, just to have housing. I've moved around every year for the past like few years, so just to have something stable and that you're not going to get kicked out of because it's in the trust. We have the land, we own it, right? It's protected, right? So that's why I'm so like passionate about trying to push this and move forward with it because it's important, it's necessary for what we're trying to do as Khalifa Society. So yeah, that's kind of the end of the presentation. That was kind of just like a rough draft. Like I said, I'm in the very beginning of it. There's still some codes and stuff that we need to try to get to even get to the application, but I'm just gonna keep going until I run into something and I can't do it anymore. But that doesn't mean that this all goes to waste. Just if we don't meet this by July 10th, this can still be a proposal for future grants or private funders, right? So now this kind of just pushes us to start formulating, start thinking, what do we want to do? What would be good? Where do we want to be at? How do we want to organize this? So I think this was a good push. No matter which way it goes, it's good for us to have the conversation now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that too, because as long as we have a proposal on paper, and like when we're doing our pop-ups and we at these venues, and it's future venues too, I think you should bring that up as future as far as grant funders that's going to be at different pop-ups for the future.
Oh, yes.
But,
Yes.
but yeah, but basically when we attend these physical functions, we want to have our proposals already on deck because it's angel investors. Once we start talking about our mission statement, it's people that have money that will just give you money because they like what we're doing as a humanitarian movement. They just want to see a proposal. They just want to see a vision on paper. So that's a plus that we're even going through this. Even if this particular grant don't go through, it's the fact that we getting in this space now. You know what I mean? So yeah, but you got it. You go.
Okay.
Share the events.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we even get into the events, I do want to open it for any like comments, questions. That way, as I'm constructing this, everything that is said in this meeting, I'm gonna summarize it and I have to submit it to HUD pretty much to let them know like, hey, this is what the community said, this is what we're gonna do, how we're gonna move forward. Because they want to know that we're working as a community, that we're
Right.
just making decisions, just what we want. It's gonna benefit everybody in some kind of way, and we have a structure. So just, if you want to put in the chat, you want to say it, or if you guys, want to wait till the next meeting to kind of figure out, however you guys want to do it, floor is open.
Can you repeat that again? So, what do we need to put into the chat?
Oh, just any questions, any comments? Right now, I'm just opening up space for everyone to kind of comment on what we just went through. Any questions, comments, concerns? However, whatever you guys want to say, so that way I can submit it over to HUD because this is actually a prerequisite for the application process, is to reach out to the community and to figure out how we want to go about the application and the grants.
I have a question, Empress. What would be the price range of the, rent like single families compared to like families with a couple kids or a child or whatever? How would the price range be in the community?
So before we came across this grant, we were trying to get like land and do the manufactured housing and everything. So from what I've seen, to even build up a manufactured home could range between like 150 to like 200,000, right? But imagine you get a mortgage for that much, right? That's about monthly, maybe like, depending on the interest rate, could be like 1,500, right? For a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Let's say we separate the rooms, right? And we have different members in different rooms, we're all close together. 1,500 amongst 3 people is about 500, right? Or we just rent to the whole spot. So we're trying to get the land cheap, right? Put it under the trust and build up the manufactured home. So that's way cheaper than building up like stick built homes, because it's manufactured built. So it's a lot cheaper, the materials up to code and everything. So we imagined that it'd be around like maybe like 15 for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's based off of a builder. I've talked to about making a manufactured home. He said his last project was about like, yeah, 150, 180. But the thing with the grant is that depending how much money we get, we can just buy the manufactured home like outright. We could buy it outright, no mortgage. We could buy the land outright, depending where we get it from. If we get it from the auction, I was seeing land over like Lancaster, like Palmdale, all of that, right? Big pieces of land for like a few grand from the tax sale. The thing is, when it comes to purchasing land, we have to do the due diligence to see.
Yeah, for the water and stuff like that, the soil, all of that. Okay, I
Yes.
got
So that's gonna be factored into the cost, but if we get a bunch of grant money to do this, like I wouldn't even be worried about the loan, and like we can make it so affordable, so cheap. So that way we could, like, still function in Khalifa Society, have things running in the government, right? Because what it would be is that money would be to start running everything, start building up more, right? Because the grant money bought everything for us to be able to do that.
you. Cause see me, I'm in VA, and I gotta come. I want to come to Cali so I can be close to y'all, so everything will be in person, to be more personal. And I'm just trying to figure out. I'm with it. Like whatever we need to do, I'm with it. Cause I've been in VA too long anyway. So.
Okay, I'm gonna write down that question. So the question was cost of living.
Yeah, and everybody, if they verbally say the question, I'm recording it too.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna review the video later.
But look at the chat. But the chat you can't see, so anything in the chat you need to write down. But I'm just letting everybody else know too. Like if y'all just verbalize it and make it easier, because we'll just go back and look at the video. Any questions y'all got?
Question: with the vision on the with the land, would you see yourself putting a farm down, or any type of farming with cattle? I mean, not cattle, but any animals, or with like food and stuff like that? Is that somewhere on the vision?
Yeah, so the vision is, so with this grant, this is specific for manufactured housing. So the vision would have the land, acquire the land, put manufactured housing on it. I would like to have a community garden, right? For everyone to be able to grow food and all that, right? And eventually, like as we grow, like I would want to get a big piece of land, right? Depending on the zoning and things like that, we'd have to work with the city hall and see what we can build on it, stuff like that, right? But if we get a zoning that's like agricultural or light agricultural, depending where we're at, we can have housing on there, we can have gardens on there, we can start building things on there based on those regulations. So yes, it would be to grow like a little Saigon, or like a little community, a little town, a local city.
Okay.
Higher.
So all the proceeds from the rent and things from the community will go into community to grow the community. You know what I'm saying? Okay, God, I'm with it.
Do you know the
It's
location?
It's about time that we do that. Stop being shook and go ahead and do it. I'm with it.
Yeah, because that money was free. Like we just applied for the grant. The money is free anyways. It's just to be able to get the physical structures, right? Physical structures put into place, build it up, and then what would the rent be for? It wouldn't be going to any loan because it was bought right out. We own it under Khalifa Society Trust. So that way we can cycle. The reason why it's in the trust, based on different community trust models I've looked over, is to keep the land within the trust so it can cycle through generations, and we can have control of the land so we can keep it affordable for the members through generations. So this is not just for us, but this is for down the line.
Prosperity.
For the community.
And that's why it's imperative as we go through these lessons, like tie this all that to nationality and allegiance. So you see, as we keep expanding, it's gonna come down to who really got allegiance, who to the organization, who's taking the studying serious, who's being an ambassador, who putting time and energy into it. Because there's gonna come a time where that's gonna matter. Because we're talking about land and housing now. You're talking about a sacred space. We're talking about is this really a brotherhood or a sisterhood? All right, you know what I mean? Like, so keep these things in mind, because this is prerequisite stage. We plotting and planning, think tank stage right now. But it's a lot of things that's in play. We need to be competent, because even when we get to that situation, when we start talking about putting things in trust, it needs to look like a community. You know, it needs to look like there's some trust, like physically,
I'm
like
gonna
literally.
Yes,
ask
sir.
you a question. So what were like some of the primary industries that our moral brothers and sisters used to jumpstart their nations and the nations of the European prior to 1492? Because couldn't we just I know do the same, focus on those industries that bring that same value?
Oh
You talking
yeah.
about what businesses you mean to attach?
Yeah, what businesses are like some key business, like the first, second, third businesses that need to be started, to jumpstart that economic process, so that we know
Well,
as competent, moral brothers and sisters what to do, what to focus on.
just look.
I
I
mean,
would say,
it's just as well as how you. So, excuse me, Mom. Let me
hey,
answer
go
that.
ahead.
It's just as
Go ahead.
well how you focus on your everyday bills being moving like a U.S. citizen. You feel me? You put your money aside for your electric bill. You put your money aside for all this stuff, right? It's the same thing, but you putting your money into a society where it's your people flourishing. You understand what I'm saying? It's a whole different perspective.
Yeah,
You
I
feel what I'm
understand. I'm coming
saying?
from
You,
the
you,
angle of a nation, you know.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm
Oversee
saying? We're gonna
terrorists.
become a nation. We just starting. So we building from the ground up. So by the time we really flourish, our foundation gonna be so strong it's not gonna crumble, brother. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta crawl before you walk. We can't just go there and you know what I'm saying, everything gonna be everything. You know what I'm saying? We gotta really put our minds together, put our thinking together, meditate, and do the things the right way. What the Empress and the Sheik coming up with is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to walk in this with fear. You understand what I'm saying? Just trust in the Most High and trust in the process, and everything gonna work out. Trust me. I'm moving. I'm gonna move all the way from Virginia to California. I don't got no
Great
fear.
faith. Faith, baby, faith. Yes, sir.
You hear what I'm saying? We don't need to walk in fear. That's what, we've been bamboozled and hoodwinked our whole lives. I'm 40 something, everybody 30 something, 20 something, whatever. All walks of life. We got to come together. That's what we got to do. Come together. That's what this is all about. So don't walk in fear, brother. I ain't even trying to come across, messed up or nothing, but I'm just saying, don't fear it, man. Everything gonna work out, man. All this light together in one spot, we gotta shine. You hear me?
Gotta shine. You gotta shine.
All
You
this
gotta
light,
shine.
right now, all this light on this group chat right now, we gotta shine. You hear me? We've been stagnant too long. So yo, I'm
Yes.
with it. I don't know about y'all. I'm with it. We 15. Well, how many people on this chat? 15. Hey,
15.
we growing. I remember when it was just 5, 4, 8 people
Yeah.
on the chat. Now it's 15. You know what I'm saying?
We got the
We got
community
to do
now.
what they did. We got to go back. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Y'all
But what
do
it
y'all thing. I'm
takes,
sorry. I yield the
hey,
floor.
hey, it's power with the people. We can only go so far as the people. Like you said, 15
Yeah.
people in this chat. Can the 15 people in this chat stay locked in, committed, right? For durations of years and months, and right? That's the key. There's power in this. The power. Right. So
Our power.
high power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Thank you everyone for speaking on that and for the questions and everything.
No doubt.
Welcome.
I do have a question. Just to get like a thought process on it, like the expectations. When can you see this like occurring? When can this like how long does it take? You think about 5 years to get this going, or do you think we can do it before that?
I think
Yeah, we
we
do.
can do it before that. This grant, they're giving us 6 years to do everything. Based on like my experience with the builder and my experience with looking at land and things like that, the thing we'd have to do after receiving the grant is to look for the land, right? And there's multiple ways. So the next auction for Riverside and LA is probably going to be around April or May of 2025, right? The one that
Okay.
had just passed, yeah, the one that had just passed, that was like a learning curve. That was just learning how to get into land. What do you have to know about the land, doing the due diligence, right? So that was kind of just learning. Now that we've learned, now we're gonna try to apply it, right? Based off of this grant, things like that, acquire the land and pretty much build up and develop on it. So I would think probably the next like realistically, probably the next like 2 years.
2 years. Okay. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good. That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sound
good.
right. Sound righteous. Sound righteous.
Yeah.
2027. And then we'll be
Yeah.
even more stronger. We'll be even more connected. The community will be
Even
bigger. We'll be branching out. Hopefully international. You feel me?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I could definitely see that happening. So you're saying Riverside or LA County, or is it like any other locations you think, or
So
is that
right,
more you shooting for?
so right now, what from what I know based on like the studies and things like that in the areas that we're trying to go for in California, right now it's just Riverside from where I've seen a lot of land. Orange
Oh, okay.
County, yeah, Orange County is pretty populated.
Yeah.
LA is populated in like the city area, but on the outskirts, there's land too. So I'm just trying to find land within those areas. We're open, like that's what I'm saying. Like with this community discussion right now, we can open it up. We can open it up to different places, discuss it, and see if we want to go further than just Riverside, Orange County, LA. But the thing is that when it comes to making the grant, they're very specific in like, okay, which area you trying to serve, which area is underserved. So there's a lot of statistics that we have to bring in order to present it to the grant maker to be like, this is where we're going to serve. And based on these statistics, this is why. So the more that we expand out, the more information we have to bring in to present to compete for the grant. So that's why I've
Gotcha.
kept it in those counties. Yeah, I've kept it generally just around here, around the up and down, the coast and everything like that.
Islam. I
Islam.
was wondering, is it is it all of California? Like you guys were talking about areas and things. I love the idea as well. Especially with having a garden, the land. You could do so much with the land as far as making money and farming off it, and then getting into the city with other businesses and becoming a little Mauritania or I don't know all the names, but I was just wondering, is it are we only subject to California? And not saying I do want to move anywhere else, but just a question.
Well,
I
I would
think,
say,
go ahead,
I would say the reason we're doing this in these areas, for one, where we're at, that's where most of the land is at, is on the outskirts, like Palmdale, Lake Elsinore,
Most definitely, yeah.
Menifee, Riverside County. But also, like she just said, what area are we going to serve? So most of the missionary work that, well, everybody on this call that I met or through, I'm doing my missionary work in Long Beach, Orange County, LA. That's how I meet the Moors that join the organization, and or the members that they meet. You know how that goes. So like but so that's what we have to think about. And that's why we chose these areas, because these are like an hour away from where the missionary work is being done at the moment. Now, yeah, that's simple. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to add that this grant is just it's a Kickstarter. Yeah, I think so. It's just a Kickstarter for the development, right? So right now, let's say it isn't just California, and we're doing with the grant money, we're going up and down the coast, right? But eventually the money that's in the rent is gonna be put back into Khalifa Society, into the trust. And now if we want to expand, if there's other Moors in different places, we want to expand, we have the funds, people want to get together and work on it, we can do that.
Right.
Because that's what this is for, community enhancement. This grant is to help the community develop and to grow economically for us in our mission, culturally, socially, right? So once we get a kickstart to that, now we can start moving how we want to move and expand more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
That's the key to the expansion
Yes.
too. Because if
Indeed.
we're able to charge cheap rent,
Mhm.
it's cheap to the general public or cheap to our members, but that's still money coming into our treasury, regardless how cheap it is. And if it's money coming into our treasury, it's gonna come a point where we're able to hire our members to be the gardener, to be the property management. Now we starting to hire, are able to hire our people. No. So it's an ecosystem that's, and it's political science. There's always a recipe to this. It's not like we're not creating the wheel, it's already the wheel's already been here. We just catching up to speed. You know what I mean? So it's great to be alive right now and still be have a lot of years ahead of us.
Yes.
Inshallah. I'm feeling real good.
Inshallah, brother.
You
Inshallah.
But yeah, so that's just on the record. If anybody else has any questions or statements for the record, that'll be data for the prerequisite part of the grant. And keep in mind, just the mere fact that we're drafting a proposal is is great. But like I said, we're going to be doing over the months and years, we're going to be doing missionary work, doing pop-ups in different areas where there will be potential investors, and we'll have it ready for them right there. We'll bring our proposal with us for potential people that like what we're doing, and they can see the vision, be like, you know what, okay, boom, let's do it. And now we're in a whole different position, and we're not even dealing with HUD. We're talking about just a regular wealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we want to be prepared. We want to be prepared. We had a proposal, have our vision on paper, and most importantly, the organization keep growing too. Right now, the biggest platform for our organization is Instagram, and just the physical outreach that we do. We want to turn that up. We want all our members to get competent on this stuff, so each individual member can do the same with their network and circle, so we can keep growing as an organization, funnel people into what we're doing, and it's going to take off. It's already taken off. It's going to continue to take off. As far as the new brother, who on here right now? Just Lamar, people like Lamar Harris, Brandon, Nazir L. Work on getting y'all fezzes. Let's get y'all paperwork done. Get the seals on it. Get some signatures, so I can put that on the public record on our website. And that's a form of roll call that you are part of the organization. It's a public record. This is all for a reason. It's all for a buildup. All for a buildup, reason, because we'll come to a point. We're talking about members, citizens of a nation state, a national organization, a body politic. These recorded meetings, these are all important. Roll call. It's all a build up to something as the months and years go on. Right. So the consistency is key. The diligence, the allegiance to the cause is key. Stay in communication. Matter of fact, let's once a month just link up physically. More that's in the area. Just to link up. And oh, matter of fact, I found a potential spot. We'll be having physical meetings potentially at the end of August in Long Beach. So, but I still have the Zoom meetings for the members that are not in Cali. We'll do it simultaneously, but yeah, so we're gonna start doing physical meetings pretty soon. That's the way it's looking. That's a little more things to iron out, but yeah. So, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else anybody wanted to add?
Yeah, I want to
I guess on.
there be like something similar to Homeland Security around the premises?
What do you mean by Homeland Security? What context?
There's cameras around the premises of each building or property.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna have our own, security guards, our own people, our members. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also hoping that with this grant, as I'm like learning about it and going through it, that not only the funds will help for the land and the housing, but some of the funds would be used to maybe hire people to be able to carry out this mission to, for work, right? That could be the start of the economic development and working amongst each other. Because usually when people get grants like nonprofits, they start to build up a team of people to be able to help carry out the mission. So hopefully, depending with this grant, we can see if we start hiring people and working within Khalifa Society to make this happen. And then we can do it however we want with the cameras, right? Security guards. Right now we could pay and do that. So as I'm looking into the grant more, I'll see if that's even like if that's a possible option to get the grant money to pay for that.
Yeah, most of the time it is. It's like that's all considered operational expenses. And yeah. Any other question statements on this grant space?
I got a question about the plan. Will we probably do solar power, Moff, or are we gonna go with the municipal way of power?
Solar,
I'm
definitely.
going solar. Balmy though, but you don't want to walk.
Yeah, I think solar would be best, in my opinion, you know.
Yes, sir, I
Yes.
do as well.
I agree.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. The whole community agrees. Solar power it is.
Indeed.
Solar.
Oh, good. Right.
And what about
Keep Caesar at bay. Caesar over there. You know, we do our thing over here.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, don't y'all stay close to each other? Nazir L and Hassan?
I thought he said Virginia. You said PA or you? Where you at, brother?
No, I'm in VA. I'm in Virginia.
Yeah, I thought he said Virginia. Yeah,
With
that's what I thought I heard.
all this crap started, Pocahontas, all that. I'm right in the middle of that. I need to get up
I'm
out
right
of
here. I'm closer to Philadelphia. Pennsylvania. I'm
okay.
up here. Yeah, I'm right here. Brotherly love.
Word.
You know that. Boo.
That's what it is. Yeah, I gotta get up out of Jamestown in Williamsburg. You heard? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I live about 20 minutes away from Williamsburg, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Man. But yeah, the Duke brothers, man, just like get your free national title, get your noble title, your appellation. Send me a text if y'all need to know where to get fezzes. Just send me a text that I need a fez. Because I might not have you just in the beginning of my text list, so just reach out to me so I can make sure everybody get their national headdresses. They come in baseball cap sizes, so you need to know your baseball cap size: 7, 7.5, 7.75, etc. You would need to know that. Oh, Brother Brian, I sent you the link last night. Did you get the link for the fez, Brother Brian? You might have stepped away. But yeah, Brother Lamar, not sure if I got your number or not, but if you have my number, you have my number?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you a text. And I'm still working on my paperwork. I want to go over it properly, you know?
Okay. Do you have any questions regarding that right now?
No questions about it.
It's Mafia.
Mafi.
Mafi. I'm sorry.
Mafia.
Mafia. I don't mean
I like that one. That's your nickname, Mafia.
Yeah.
I'm getting real excited. I'm gonna call you Mafia. You know what I'm saying?
My bad.
Thank
I didn't say Mafia.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Mafia.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You got it. You got the floor.
Lamar Harris is Kabaka's son.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah, he's very eager to learn. So we want to make sure he gets on the track that he's supposed to be on.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions? Feel free to hit me, man. Like I say, even platforms like this, any questions, just put them out there. So, you know, you can address them. But I did recommend that you read your nationality paperwork in its entirety. There's a lot of information on there, historically and jurisprudence wise. It should come to a point where you comprehend everything in your nationality paperwork. You know, and that should put you on a journey for about a month or two, just in that alone. You know,
Islam. Is that something you need to send to us, Mafia, or is that something I could look up myself until I'm ready? I haven't looked up the nationality paperwork yet.
Oh.
Have you come up with an appellation?
I'm still working on that. Still undecided though, but I'm working on it.
Okay. Yeah, once you come up with that,
Move forward that way.
yeah, I'm gonna compile it. And the information on there is like a study guide, but it's gonna be a nationality paperwork in an affidavit form, but it's gonna be essentially a study guide as
Okay.
well. Yeah, so
Well, I'll
that's
just
what I
wait.
recommend.
I'll wait till I have my name.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Wordell, how you doing, man?
Islam, good. How you doing?
Good, man. How the family doing, man? How the sons doing over there?
Oh, they're good, man. Everything is good over here, man.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I see you. How was the performance? You had a performance last night, right?
Yeah, yesterday in San Diego. It went good, man. It was cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Glad to hear that, man. Yeah, this the brother. I don't know if we did Eloquently Graceful. Wordell, he was a feature artist on there on the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my track right there. I rock that every morning, bro.
Okay.
On the way to work, bro. I rock that, bro.
Islam.
Yeah,
How do I
man.
find that track? How do I find that track? Go to,
Where you gonna find it on YouTube?
YouTube.
He wants to know which one it is. So
Let me put it in the chat. Yeah, you go type Khalifa Society, you can go on YouTube and type Eloquently Graceful.
Which y'all neglect, I perfect. You don't study, so the vampires is at your neck. Yeah, I heard Mom. I was like, okay. He came at it hard, you know what I mean? Yeah, good.
Yeah, man. Gotta talk to the people, man. If somebody could just type in the chat Eloquently Graceful.
That's a nice title too.
I appreciate it though. Yeah, that video came out pretty smooth. I think that's the best video we've done so far.
Hey yo, so what was the bridge? What was the bridge joint, Mom? I saw painted up there, "Welcome to Moortown" or something like that. Where was y'all at when y'all shot the video?
Oh, that was Alhambra High School.
Okay.
Yeah, and their mascot is the home of the Moors. I mean, their mascot
Hey,
is the Moors.
Daniel, that's that video you sent me, huh?
Yeah.
Bless.
They rolled that.
I always say that.
And you know what I'm saying?
Dear.
And you know, they
Bless.
from the West Coast, they rolled a New York kind of boom bap beat. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, they did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
It was that for sure.
And they keep
When
it
you saying
clean,
the
you
truth.
know what I'm saying? Because I write too, but I mean, I can't write like Moth, you know what I'm saying? I sound like Griselda or something like that when I rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Moth be rhyming clean. That joint be tight, bro. I'm like, yeah.
I appreciate
you, man. Saying all the stuff that the little rappers be saying out here nowadays. He be talking conscious, you know what I mean? That was dope. That was a dope track. The beat and everything. That was a dope track. Y'all got whoever heard it, y'all gotta hear it.
Yeah, check it out, man. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, man. Whoever got Spotify, just put Khalifa Society in the Spotify. And just let it shuffle.
Oh my shit! You just made my playlist.
Yeah, just go on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
You just made my playlist. I'm on Spotify.
I'm trying to rewind my mind because I want to get on the track with them too, but it got to be clean. So I got to learn how to write that way, because I'm from the Bronx. So,
Yeah, man. Just we got like three albums on Spotify.
Woo.
Songs from there, so it's a lot of stuff on there.
Well, you know what, Hassan, you should come with your style because I feel like there's certain songs where everyone has their own style, and I feel like it mixes pretty well with the music. What were some of the songs, Muffy, where there was different styles of artists?
And is there any musicians in the family? Because I'm a percussionist. I can play any percussion instrument naturally. I got an ear for music, don't know how to read it. My grandmother used to take me to church, and I started playing the drums, and it just blew up from there. Any musicians in the family, like horn, whatever, percussion? What we got?
Lamar Harris, he do music.
Yeah, I'm in the music.
I took up my keyboard. I mean, my guitar.
I mean, we might start a
We can all put
band. You know
something
what I'm
together.
saying? When
Yeah,
we
we got
link
Nah,
up,
for,
we can all
let's
that's
put
do
true
something
for
it.
together.
sure.
Yeah,
All
that'd be
kinds of
dope.
ways to bring in income. All kinds of ways to do what we need to do. All kinds of ways to serve the people. All kinds of ways to get the message out. Hey,
That's
we
true.
just get it.
That's
We just
true.
do it.
Yeah.
Word.
And then we gonna sit together and get the bongos going.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do all that, bro. All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta get that across to the whole world. That's how we can get it out there
Mhm.
through the music, you know what I'm saying? Through the vibrations. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the radar
Yes.
too. Yep.
Yes.
Um, okay. So I think we got the prerequisite stage out the way. I was gonna just read a verse in the Quran and close out, and then we kind of talk about whatever. You have something, Danielle?
Yeah, real quick. Before we close out, two things I want to mention, two upcoming events. So on for anyone that's here around like Orange County, LA, there's gonna be a possible event on July 13th over at the Fountain Valley Skating Rink, where Mafi will be vending and doing missionary work and selling things like that. There's gonna be there's gonna be vegan food there. Admission to go is like $30, but vegan food's gonna be there. Mafi potentially, we're gonna find out tomorrow if he's gonna be a vendor, but he's gonna be doing missionary work there and selling some things too. So anyone that wants to come out, we'll give the word probably tomorrow or Tuesday if we're gonna be attending that. I'm gonna attend for support. I also love vegan food and I love skating. So anyone else that just wants to be in community, socialize and skate and just have a good time, that's gonna be on July 13th at the Fountain Valley Skating Rink. The next event I want to put up is July 18th. There's gonna be a mega mixer, and this is gonna be put together by a nonprofit organization where they help other nonprofits strive. So at this mixer event, there's gonna be different grant makers over there, different funders. They're gonna teach us how to talk to different funders and grant makers. And that's pretty much like a networking event. So networking with different nonprofits, funders, grant makers. So that's gonna be on July 18th, which is a Thursday, from 4:30 to 6:30. We'll post it up too. I have the paper right here. But I just came across this a few days ago too, so I just feel like this would be since we're in the space of grant making and funding and things like that, it'd be good to come out and attend this to network and see how it is, how do we get grants, right? If this is where we're going now, we're kind of going in with new information, how to get there. This would be more connection and plugs to get grants and funding and how to actually talk to funders. Even if they're just private, it doesn't even have to be federal. So July 18th, 4:30 to 6:30 on Thursday. There's tickets online. I have to double check to see how much it costs, but Mafi and I plan on attending. Anyone else wants to attend, with Fez and Turban, and to kind of let everyone know what we're about as an organization. So that way we can make those connections to, pretty much do our missionary work. So I just want to put that out, those two things out there. So skating on July 13th, if you want to go, with some missionary work, and then some networking event on July 18th.
So you'll be selling the fezzes there?
What was that?
You'll be selling the fezzes at the event?
No, the members that are in the area out here in Cali, we were saying just pull up, make sure they have their fez and turban on when they come to the
make sure
event.
okay.
But
Okay.
like I say,
Represent.
send me a text so I can see the link on how to get so you can get your fez, so you can order it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Please.
No, that was pretty much it. Those are the two things I wanted to bring up. We'll kind of touch on that for anyone that wants to attend, and we'll kind of just keep you guys updated on what happens with the vending situation at the skating rink, and then the networking event for the nonprofit grant makers.
Okay. Now it was one thing in the chat. Daraji Bay mentioned something about I don't see it in the chat no more, but you said something about a driver's license and
Okay, right here. Request to have well water. Yeah, that's something. So when it comes to whether we're getting water from the city, we can pretty much talk to the city and be like, hey, this is what we want based on this piece of land. can we have well water? That'd be a conversation, because it comes to like zoning, comes to all that. So that's why when it comes to like purchasing land, we have to be in communication with the city to pretty much like, this is what we're trying to do. What are your rules and regulations, right? And that's why the due diligence is important, because if there's certain things that we want, like well water, then we have to look for land where it allows that too.
Okay, so Empress, if we have to push come to shove, get the city water, we need to implement some type of purification system to have us safe. You know what I'm saying? Like a ionizing water machine or a Kengen water machine that's hooked to our system. You know what I'm saying? So we can ensure ourselves that the drinking water and the water we use to cook is, I think that's why the brother brought up well water versus, municipal water. You know what I'm saying?
Right here in Virginia, we go to a lake and get our water. It's called Wayside Spring, and that's where we get our water from.
Okay, and yeah, you know what? That could be a part of the research. While we're looking for land, let's say we get the grant money, all that, we're looking for land. We can look for bodies of water close to the area to be able to do things like that. Look at the regulations and codes of the city and see if we can manifest that, make that happen. It's just really, it's the due diligence and navigating through to see what is it that we want to put in. And that's why we're having the public meeting too. So we can bounce off of ideas. I think the well water is a great idea, because really we're trying to create sovereignty, right? The gardening, the solar power, the well water, all of that's to be sovereign citizens, right? Within the Moorish nation. So yeah, I think those are good ideas.
Not sovereign citizens.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
sovereign citizens.
Yeah, not
Sovereign nationals. Sovereign nationals.
I'm sorry.
National.
Yeah, I heard that.
Aboriginal
Sorry.
to Mexium, not sovereign, not black, not
Mafia.
Indian.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, I was asking about the license. Like, for instance, I still have a corporation license, like a driver license, but it don't have my nationality up there. So, can we request for them to put it up there, or do we still deal with the DMV license? I mean, how do we go about getting away from driver's license through the corporation?
Do you have a nationality card?
I do.
What is it the one, did you end up getting it from RV Bay, or was it the one that you were into you didn't really like that much?
The one I didn't like that much, and I still don't like it. I don't really use that, but I really haven't had to show my driver's license yet to well, I haven't since I reclaimed my nationality. I never got pulled over, and they never asked me. Well, put it this way, I never got pulled over since I've been to Roger Bay.
Okay. So we got a nationality card maker now. So I'm going to make your nationality card. And then once you have that, you need to study the laws pertaining to that. Me personally, I like to use Criminal Resource Manual 1508. We went over that multiple times. I'll put that in my book as well. You go over that. If you're going to use the rights of indigenous people, just make sure you bring I like to use a house resolution first. You can use 1203. That's a state level one in Georgia. You could use any one really, but to set the tone on Article 1, Section 2 of the rights of indigenous people, this talks about self-identification will be the first factor for even an indigenous person to qualify for the rights of indigenous people is having a nationality card. That's one of the first factors. That's Article 1. They pop it off by talking about identification, right? So you just need to reference that. And then now as far as registration with the car, me personally, I don't feel nobody here is too competent, maybe one or two people is competent enough to, and not only that, it ain't about the community, like what we're trying to do. What we've been talking about in this discussion, this past meeting, once it's to the level where it is the community is looking like Chinatown, then the no registration and, rights of indigenous people and the whole nine, because now it go hand in hand. And we would have talked with the mayors in the areas that were doing these, that were, or the higher ups. Really, it's people that are higher than the mayor. You got the superintendents of the county that are higher than the mayor. But I'm just saying the mayor, we're gonna talk with the higher ups of the area, letting them know that we formed our organization and the whole nine, the international ramifications of our organization when they interface with our members. We'll have that dialogue once we get it up and running, whatever area we designate. But up until that time, I recommend going to DMV. My conveyance is registered when they run the plates. It says Khalifa Society, Moroccan Consulate Trust. When I get pulled over and they come up to me, I have my nationality card that we issue here from Khalifa Society. And I have no issues. That's how I recommend going. If you're going to utilize your nationality card and don't have a driver's license, I recommend you doing it like that. In our fractured state of our nation right now. Any questions on that? Statements, comments?
May I speak on? I've been driving myself for about 3 years without a driver license. With all this knowledge that there's no such thing as law toward traveling. I mean, there's no such thing as that. Like the only way that the way that we give ourselves over is by doing what they ask you to do, which is give them driver license, insurance card, registration. Without doing any of those things, you're not held as a driver. So they can't do you as a driver. The only thing they can do to you is send you a letter, a citation in the mail. I'll tell you go ahead on, have a good day. If you don't have, let's say, a driver license, then they can apply for your card. If you don't want to show that up, then you just go to the place and get your card back. But when I found out I was able to revoke my license, that had put, a bright light showed off. Like, why would I be able to revoke my license? Well, that right then let you know that you don't need a license to travel. So I mean, before I was able to maneuver and understand those things prior to, coming to my nationality, going this route. You can find comfort, prior to getting your travel documents, your national ID card, and things of that nature. Just by understanding, like how we talk here, what the system is, and exactly what it is you're doing. How do you consent to that, and how not to? But simply just not giving them a driver license, insurance, and registration whenever you get pulled over keeps you from being a driver. You automatically become a traveler. And that's without saying nothing. Literally just hand them my ID card, I give them a business card. And every officer that's around get a business card, And yeah, that's that.
Or just write them beforehand.
So you said you give them a business card?
Yeah, all you have to do is give them something to rep. They know who you are if your car is registered in your name, they know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Even with you saying who you are, they can look that up and find. You don't have to show them those type of identity. You don't have to give them driver license, insurance, registrations. Give them something else that shows your representation of who you is. That keeps you from consenting as a driver. You understand?
Okay,
When the officer
so the
comes to you and
business
asks you
card,
for,
does
yes,
the
when the
business
officer,
card make it seem like what does the business card do? Like let them
the
know you're
business card is
conducting business legally in
no,
that
no.
statement?
Negative. The business card just
Okay.
represents you. It's just your ID. If you don't have your ID, a lot of people get a driver license, so they don't have an ID. But if you have your ID, give them your ID. You can have your driver license. The driver license only for, when you go to court or something, that are you know what I'm saying, using that to drive legally to make money. That's what a driver license for. A driver license is legally to make money. A driver legally making money. When you're traveling in your vehicle to and fro to handle your business and do whatever, you're not a driver. You're a traveler. So you have to be able to represent yourself. So whenever they've come up to the car and the officer's like, give me driver license, insurance, registration, any one of those three things, you have just consented. You have just said to him, I'm a driver. And he takes that and says, okay, thank you.
Driver. I'm a
So
commercial
without
driver.
giving them,
Right?
yes, sir. Without giving them any of those things, you are a traveler. Simple.
And
Without
please,
saying nothing.
I got
Not,
a
I'm
question.
not saying I'm a traveler. He's not. He may not even be competent enough to know that's what I'm doing. But it sets him in a place where he's like, either I could tow your car, or I can let you go. I can send you a
Yeah,
citation in the mail. You know what I'm saying? You put him in a place where he has to make a decision. You're in position to tell the man, either you gonna tow my car, or I'm gonna go about my business. Which one?
See, we
right.
just real quick. Us, we're in a different ball game. We're gonna have, if you're gonna take that route, you're gonna have a nationality
Mm,
card. If you're gonna go that
Right.
far, you're gonna show them your nationality card. If you're gonna say, I don't have a
yeah,
driver's license,
bless
you
him,
might,
bless him.
we're
Yes,
gonna show them a nationality card. And that's
yes.
why I gave an example. Like he just said, when they run the VIN number, when they run my VIN number, it says Khalifa Society, Moroccan Consulate Trust. When they interface with me and I show my ID, I'm always referencing the Department of State Consular Notification and Access Manual, which is instruction for federal, state, and local law enforcement on how to deal with non-US citizens that got not only treaties with the United States, but are part of consulates or embassies. Of course, us as Moors, we just call them temples. We just call it the temple. But to them, it's a consulate and embassy. Consul would be singular, consulate would be plural. But now we're back to the jurists and competent people that have a nationality that formed an organization, i.e., called a body politic. And our competent officers are called consular officers in their manual. You know, so I like to speak that language when I'm showing the because it shows something that most people aren't using, and you want to use stuff that are codified. We know it's Article 6, we know it's the treaty, we know, but the whole point is to hit them with stuff in their manual, hit them with stuff in their codes that take them to the federal jurisdiction, to take them to a treaty jurisdiction. That's
Give them
more
back the
smart.
law.
Yeah, because other than that, they're gonna hit you all sovereign citizen. You think you're smarter than me?
Right.
Yeah, that's not the Constitution and treaty
I've
is not my penal codes, and statutes.
I've
So hit them.
never
Yeah,
I've never just to interject right there. I've never like I've been pulled over plenty of times because for long as I didn't have my cover's not registered with my name, plenty of times. Without the way that I do, I've never been. They never, took me like I was trying to show them. Sometimes like I'm trying to show I got power, or I'm trying to even show sovereignty. The way,
yeah.
the blessings, blessings. I
No,
just
no, no,
wanted to
no.
say
I'm
that.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
it
stuff.
works, man.
I'm saying stuff from
Mm,
data because remember, it's not
mm,
like just overnight. It's been like years now where I get DMs, I get messages from people where they got their glasses broke, they got their car towed, they got snatched out the car. So
yeah.
as a
Mm,
sheik and a person that is, I'm in a position to let people know the devil's advocate. I'm letting you know the whole picture. I'm not going to advise you to go out and do
Right.
anything. I'm going to let you know the whole picture and let you know you need to be competent. And I'll let you know what I've done personally. But I've also people that don't show no license and take the route that y'all need to show a license. I need to identify myself, and I've seen them. It don't go too good for them. So that's why I'm always going to
yeah, that
recommend
don't
based
go
off
well.
experience. Yeah, I'm a recommend off experience. I use my nationality card. I'm gonna tell you what I reference. I reference the consular notification and access manual every time because it sets the tone that I'm a non-US citizen. I keep certified copies of the library from the Library of Congress of treaties and different resolutions. Um, um, rights of indigenous people. I keep things highlighted, pertinent sections in these documents.
Yeah,
So I don't even need. I can reference
yeah,
them for. I don't need the documents to be in my hand to talk about the document. I just have the document physical just in case I need to just show them that look, man, this is what I've been talking about. I don't need to rely and just, you got to be competent. All of these municipal officers, they get trained on how to deal with what they call foreign nationals, how to deal with non-US citizens. The concept of a consulate and an embassy is not new. You got Pakistan consulate, Chinese consulate, Japanese consulate. It's always, it's just being competent to be like, look, I'm part of that. This is my nationality. Here's a nationality card. It's a website for the public records, Khalifa Society. You can reference that. We exist. We have a mission statement. It's just simple, So as long as you're coming from a body, I'm part of a body. I'm part of a body. Now, I get there's people that ain't had a driver's license in 5, 6 years. They ain't got touched. They had a good experience. I get Hey,
I just
that's
don't have
cool.
my national ID card. That's all. I don't have my national ID card yet. So I deal with it like that.
Yeah, but from our
Hey,
from our
I need a
perspective,
card.
hey, listen, right? Like the smoke from the police come from the police that's dumb and don't know law. Like in my experience, since I've been in the family, like the police that I've talked shit to, excuse me, that I've said things to that they need to know about me. You know what I'm saying? They really was ignorant to the fact. It's always you got to go higher up to the people that's competent in law when it comes to them. Like if they pull you over, you can be spitting your stuff, you can be having your, your stuff in your head, your paperwork, and they still snatch you out the car. Rah, get up out of
They're
here.
not
You know
confident.
what I mean? Because they
You get
don't know.
shot.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
that's
Like
true.
that's
Yeah.
what we gotta get into law and go up there to them people and you know what I'm saying? Because that they not respecting. If they don't know, they don't respect it, man. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's not
saying?
it's not uniform. It's not uniform. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
small victories. Because like I said, I had some victories. I have victories like that where a car wasn't registered the whole nine. But I'm not gonna tell people that's to do that. That
The
I
way to
did that
go.
because
Word.
I did it because I wanted to test my hand, like just to see, but as a rule of thumb, we're colonized and we don't have intact communities at the level that we need to have them at. So
Exactly.
I'm not going to tell you to don't register your car at all. And now you can use
Yeah.
the nationality card. I have no issue
Right.
with my nationality card. But as far as to go tell somebody else don't register at all, I'm not going to tell nobody that. I'm not going to tell nobody. People
Cause
got
it's like you go into certain stores like Kroger around the corner from where I live at. I pull my nationality. I just did it. You know what I'm saying? I talked to y'all a lot, multiple times about me going in the store and using my national card. So I had some wine. Okay. I went to I pulled my national card out. The girl looked at it. She didn't know. I start telling her things. She just still looking at me like, you're strange. You're weird. She walked away with my national card.
Sorry about
Hold
that.
up. Walked away with my national card, went to the manager. The manager said, boom, 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 boom. She come back to me. She like, we can't use it. The only thing we take is a ID, right? So I grabbed my national card, walked away from the register, went to the manager. I start talking to the manager. I got the same reaction. She's looking at me like a dog that's confused, head to the side. Like, what are you talking about right now? This is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like that I deal with down here as far as my national card is concerned. I'm not saying that we're not walking in truth, but a lot of people are dumb. They don't know. So when you talking to them, they still looking at you like, what are you speaking Spanish type thing? If y'all understand what I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do.
That's
So
unfortunately. Go ahead, Dio.
that's what I was gonna say. In a situation like that, what type of paperwork would you have to provide for I guess I would say docile citizens who, own the business who don't accept nationality
The
ID.
manager just, you saying certain things and they just keep shaking their head. No, we just need to,
Yeah.
like that. That's the type of vibe you getting. You know what I'm saying? I could
Mm-hmm.
go in my car and get my folder and come back in and break it really down and spend 30 minutes talking to you, letting you know who you are, who I am. You know what I'm saying? Because it be your own people. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on with me. I don't know.
I will say this, that I wouldn't using the nationality card for that reason. I wouldn't liquor store.
Okay. So, okay.
That's not. Remember, it's a noble. What's an aura behind what we're doing? So you wouldn't see me in a fez and turban at the liquor store for one. Buying liquor. Well, you know what I mean? Like
I dig where you're coming from.
You know what I'm saying? That's not.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's bigger fish to fry. I will say when we have our own businesses, we don't have to worry about stuff like that on another front. You know what I mean? But I have no issue using my nationality card at all at this point. There's no.
Now, what about taxes?
I think people are more conscious over there where you at, Marv, compared to over here in VA and like in this area. I mean, it's
That's what
certain
I.
people in certain areas, but it seems like y'all in Cali got a whole Moorish community going on. Like, everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
literally what I was about to speak on. Just like when I was speaking about the driver license stuff earlier. They already like if you go down to North Carolina, certain areas of North Carolina, people drive around all day without no registration tags on their car because they've already beat the court system. They done beat the, you know what I'm saying? They done whoop. You had enough people that went up in there and beat the judge to the point the judge tell the people, hey, yo, don't come back at me about nobody with, you know what I'm saying? We're not taking those type of things. They done beat it already. You know, in certain areas like where I'm at in PA, if they put and do that, I know that that's where I'm be working at. You know, me and my group of brothers, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be working. That's the work that we have to do to make this actually, bring the light to everybody else. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like
yeah,
you wanna
'cause
be
see,
like we got that kind of work to do, man. We got that kind of building, but certain other places like the South, the South is we've been spiritually led for a long time down there.
yeah, I just want to get to the point where I can use my Morris card to identify me. I don't have to move with the corporate. Damn, I don't have to move with the corporate situation anymore. You know what I'm
You
saying?
might
That's
need to get
why.
in touch with your mayor and your
You know what I'm
people over
saying?
there.
That's why when I go in the store, I don't give them my corporate ID, which I still do have possession of. I want to give them back they identity of me. I want to claim my identity. I didn't claim my name. Now I want my identity. You feel me? I know I can't move like that right now, but I'm slowly implementing it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what's going on, see who know, who respect it or whatever. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, trying to tarnish the thing, but I do have a glass of wine with my wife every now and then with dinner. It's not, a habitual thing or anything like that. But, I
Yeah, no,
want
no,
to be
no.
able to, that my national card is me. You know what I'm saying, Mom?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
like my national card is me. If I gotta get pulled over, if I gotta show identification or whatever to go somewhere, whatever the case may be, I want to use my national card. You feel
Yeah.
me?
And like I said, I
So
gave an example. I gave an example of what I recommend. Like if you're traveling in your conveyance, and I'll see you, Taraji, but we get to that right now. Um, you don't want to show your nationality card, but when they run the van, it's a set of straw. That's what you don't want. That's why I say, you know, it's going to be part of the temple. You're going to register or reflect as part of a temple or what they call a consulate or embassy. Now you have,
God.
you're
Why
not
you
going to
way
have,
up there?
Yeah, when they run the event, it comes in as Shalon Coleman. It don't come as Hassan Amari Bey. I get where you coming from there.
well, no, it's not going to
So
ever
I
say.
would
Because
have to put
you registered into their trust.
so I would have to register it into my own trust, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it
Mafi
will
did.
say,
That's what he's
Okay.
saying about that, Mafi.
yeah,
Okay.
right. It's a trust. Khalifa Society is a community trust. It's a nonprofit. It's a body politic. It's a temple. So
Oh well, when you get time, big homie, I need you to holler at me on the side note on that one, because I'm with that. Because that'll
yeah,
help me just do everything I need to do. You feel me?
yeah, you have to create a transmitting utility when you're dealing with these corpse. You don't want the transmitting utility to be you. So you're gonna create. We have Khalifa Society is a body of Moors. So
Yes,
now
sir.
when they come to the human being, it's gonna match when you show a nationality card. Oh, it's a Moorish organization. He has a Moorish nationality card. Oh, it makes sense. He has a nationality. Oh, okay. Department of State Consular Notification and Access Manual. Instruction for federal, state, and local law enforcement on how to deal with non-U.S. citizens that have treaties for the United States. Right. So I wrote that in my book too. So matter of fact, yeah, whoever not familiar with that, Department of State Consular Notification and Access Manual. Highly recommended to keep going over that. And then it sets the tone. Because like I say, once you show them something that's instructions for federal, state, and local law enforcement, then you showing them their manual. This is their manual. You're showing them something that they're supposed to know. Once they see that, they're gonna be like, oh shit, this is instructions for me.
It's instructions for
Yeah.
federal, state, and local law enforcement. I fit this bill. Hold on. He look on his shoulder, he see his jumpsuit. Oh, it say the state of something. Oh, I'm a state officer. Oh, this apply to me. Right.
Okay.
So it's just, you want to put pressure on them, man. But
Okay.
and just speak with competence, speak with assuredness, you're not skeptical and not too much aggression. Just it's right there for them. I guarantee you, if you go that route, you got your feds, turban, nationality card. Once they run your place, it shows like I just showed you. Once they come to you and you start talking about that manual, I guarantee you're gonna get a favorable reply. Because I got put over the past 2 months by 3 times. I don't even talk about the stuff no more getting put over because it's not even a thing. I have my nationality card. I reference the manual. It's done. Right. That's why I say register it like that. Don't just have no registration. And now you're looking as combative because they're gonna be like, where's your community at? I hear what laws you're talking about, but where's your community? They're gonna look at it as you just trying to get out of something. You're just a regular Negro, Latino person that found out about the Moorish paradigm and you want to get out of something. That's it. It's not matching. So that's why I say choose this route until we get our communities full blown established. This is a good recommend, But essentially, it's a bill of sale. I think somebody put it in the chat right now. You pretty much to sell it. Yeah. Okay. So what's the process? So she's asking, what is the process? Yeah. So like when you sell any car, you're gonna get a bill of sale. I'm not sure what it's called in every state, but out in California, I think it's called change of ownership registration. But essentially, it's gonna have buyer and seller. If you don't have, if you're not making payments and you own the car outright, you're gonna sell it to. If you're a member of Khalifa Society, you're going to sell it to what I just said, Khalifa Society, Moroccan Consulate Trust. And then you're going to register like how you register any other. They're going to want you to have some type of insurance, maybe get a small, but now in the system, it's going to say that and not a straw. So now when you show a nationality card issued from Khalifa Society, that's will be your ID when you're not operating in commerce. You show the nationality card.
Can I read register?
Yeah.
In the Black Laws Dictionary. Okay. Register, to record formally and exactly, to enroll, to enter precisely in a list or the like, to make correspond exactly one with another, to fit correctly in a relative position, to be correctly aligned with or aligned one with another. And it says, register, an officer authorized by law to keep records called register or registry as a register of the probate of wills. So basically you're putting something in line, right? So we're going to go to the register of ships, a register kept by the collectors of customs in which the names, ownerships, and other facts relative to merchant vessels are required by law to be entered. This registry is evidence of the nationality and privileges of American ships. You see what I'm saying? So you registered under the nationality. Is the United States a nationality?
Exactly.
Is United States a nationality? And if it is, which one? So if you can't pinpoint what nationality you're registered in, then it's a corporation. We already know it's a corporation, right? So you don't have any laws. You have codes, you have statutes, you have ordinances, you have regulations. Where the first in today's meeting, we were talking about the case law, right? That case law was talking about treaties, the supreme law of the land, treaties. So you got to go in the treaties, Article 6, where it says either a flag or a pass should be given to all vessels. You're still registering it because that flag is registered under its nation.
And that's Article 4 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, what he's referring to. That's Article 4 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Dealing with
I read the whole thing, but it was like I took it in context, like it was talking about boats and shit, man. I really did. I ain't even gonna hold none of y'all. I ain't understand that shit, man. That shit was like it was talking about boats and ships and things of that nature. But I guess the certain words in the treaty mean something different. So you have to go and study the different words, like vessel means something different instead of
Yeah,
vessel as in ship.
well, what's a
Like,
vessel? No. What is a vessel? We gotta stop there because maybe you just don't comprehend what a vessel is in its entirety.
Anything that
okay,
contain that can hold anything that can hold whatever is produce, products, whatever, it just holds information.
Right? Your body,
That's
your
what
car, right?
yeah.
So any vessel
Paper.
that has your national flag or your signal designating you have a nationality. Now we're talking about international jurisdiction, you know. So any vessel, it doesn't have to just be a boat. A boat is not just a vessel.
Okay. Am I to take the treaty verbatim, or is it like some hidden meaning in how it's written? Like, if you read the treaty, it seems like it's talking about, certain ships bringing certain things over in certain ways and things of that nature. Is not pertaining to, if you're someone who's just getting into the science, you think that they're talking about boats straight up. That's what
No,
I'm
they
saying.
are. No, certain parts of the treaty they are. They are talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're talking about the ports, open to the ports. Whenever they're talking about ports and boats like that, yeah. But the context of what we're talking about is Article 4 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, is talking about the commander of the national, the commander, the declaration of the commander. So our declaration of nationality, any type of signal. So a signal dealing with this will be the signal. So that's why I got the flag in my car. When they register it, it says, like I say, Moroccan consulate. So it's a non-US citizen we're dealing with. And he has in treaties. That's why I keep in my possession. Like I say, Library of Congress, certified copy from the Library of Congress of the treaty. And let's talk about the Moors in there. The treaty between the Moors and the US citizen. I have a Moorish nationality card. I'm the Moor right here in front of you, right? So, and back to the Consular Notification and Access Manual, it talks about who is a foreign national. Anybody that's not a U.S. citizen is not, right? So we're not even getting to the treaty yet. We're just getting on just their stuff against them. I'm a non-U.S. citizen, so therefore you got to go down this protocol, and I'm part of a body of my national peers. So not only that, I got the right to call a competent member of my body before we even move forward. Right? We call them sheiks or any competent member of the body politic. They call them consular officer. You got the right to call your consular officer. So back to the rights of indigenous people. That's another Article 1, Section 2. You can use this to support your nationality card. Because once you start referencing the House of Resolutions that already talk about the Aboriginal and indigenous to America, it talks about in those resolutions that more qualified to invoke the rights of indigenous people. So once we open up the rights of indigenous people, Article 1, Section 2, it's going to say what? Like we said earlier, how you identify dictates do you qualify to invoke the document. What ID are you showing? Oh, a Moorish identification card. Moorish Aboriginal, right? So and now we're talking about two different things. I just showed you the Article 4 of the treaty, and now we got the rights of indigenous people. All dealing with identification. How you identify your signal or pass. What are you looking like? You got the ball cap to the back, white T-chucks, or what are you looking like as you're talking?
Well, I'm gonna look up signal for you. Let's see real quick. Or go ahead. I'll read out in a second. I just kind of lost place.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. I would say that, I would say it like that. I would look at it like that, But yeah, signal would be just that. The flag would be the signal.
Right. I was gonna read it for them, but
oh yeah, no, go ahead, read it. It's better for him.
I gotta find it again. I just lost it somehow. I stepped my finger and went through.
Okay. So once again, the bill of sale, you can do a bill of sale to the temple, essentially. And And also he read the definition of register. So we're recording the fact of our national origin. It's on the record, essentially. Right. Once again, you need a transmitting utility to interface with a corporation. If you don't know that, then most people they register their conveyance in the same straw man as the driver's license. It says the same thing. So they already know. Like, you know what I mean? You just saying I'm a ward, I'm the corp. Right. So we're giving the other side of the fence. I'm trying to see if I answered all the questions. Any other statements, questions? All right, everybody good? Any questions, thoughts?
I got one question, Ma. The rights of indigenous people, I've been reading up on it, and
which one? United Nations or
well,
organization?
you just put me on a new one, which I didn't even know nothing about. I was reading the United Nations joint, but you said the OAS, rights of indigenous people. I have to look that one up online. But I mean, even in the United Nations one, I see some things that kind of like, it kind of seems like the way we have the right to the land and things of that nature, that we should not be paying for natural resources, bro. Like water and electricity, we shouldn't be paying for. According to what I'm reading in this, it's like we should be getting that for free, don't you think?
Right. That's what it says.
Right. That's the end game. Now, if miraculously, let's use Compton and Watts. If miraculously tomorrow everybody wake up, oh, we Moors, man, let's all work together. Let's stop all this foolishness. Let's organize. Let's go to these city halls and let them know, like, we've erected ourselves. We woke. It's about a couple thousand of us. We want to interface a relationship with you, mayor or superintendent, to invoke this rights of indigenous people. Because we got a community over here. We want all this section of, because we want land. We want our right to our land and resources. We have the right to that. And matter of fact, it says in the rights of indigenous people that you need to even assist us to get on the right footing, just to get operational. Right.
Make sure you write that.
Yeah. They supposed to have certain things out there for us to even be able to be equal to the upper class out here. It's in here. You're right.
Right.
But nobody pushing this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why
73-10 public law. The government is obligated to pay everything. Public law 73-10.
Can you put that in the chat? Type that in the chat for us.
Please do that.
Okay.
So I can research that later on too. That's why. So I literally can look it up and see what you. No, I'm not. But in the meantime, I'm gonna read signal real quick. A means of communication as between vessels at sea or between a vessel and the shore. The International Code of Signals for the use of all nations assigns arbitrary meanings to different arrangements of flags or display of lights. That's a signal. It's just communicating who you are and who are they and who are you.
That's how they distinguish you with everybody else. Like, okay, you got a flag,
Right. Flags bring laws.
Yeah. Now, we know all these laws. These laws been in the place, right? Rights of indigenous people, etc. But what happens is you need people to mobilize and pull the trigger on these things and show and prove that what have we done? Because at the end of the day, I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say we're begging. No, we're not gonna. I can call that begging. But realistically, we're supposed to do it for ourselves and don't even care about no assistance. That's the mind state. But since we want to utilize these things and be like, oh yeah, we got these laws, we got to show and prove that we have did something on our own, right? And then now we can come. That's why the whole importance of. That's why the prophet always say, live close to each other. Live close to each other. The reason we keep bringing up Chinatown and Koreatown, because once again, this is not China or Korea, but they live so close to each other. There's so many people in a concentrated area where they got an ecosystem. Now they influencing the politics of the area. We don't got that. We don't got that going on. So until that's the atmosphere, we can't pull the trigger on the rights of indigenous people like that. to the point where we're saying we want land and housing for free. We got to show and prove first. We should want to show and prove. We shouldn't want stuff so easy. We should want to work together and create something together that we used our mind to do. And that's why like example with 9L, we just coming up with just we trying to get some stuff popping, you know what I mean? Get something going, get some traction, you know what I mean? Put something together, prerequisites. And it's for life. It ain't no rush, like it's institutions that been around for 40, 50 years. They ain't got nothing going on. So give Khalifa Society some time. You know what I'm saying? We just getting started here. You know what I mean? But at least we got a vision and it's practical, and we know what it takes for it to keep growing. It takes the will of the people, and it starts with the missionary work. It's all, it starts with staying consistent. It starts with keep having a think tank, keep manifesting, plotting and planning. And we go, it's for life. So, that's what I would say. For the rights of indigenous people, gotta crawl before we walk. And that's why because even when we met, like I said before, we was at the situation in where we got invited by the spring equinox. We got invited by the Iranian community. We got invited, and then we seen the mayor of San Clemente. He came and took a picture with us, right? So I told him I want to get a proclamation established for the city of San Clemente, similar to the other House resolutions. They could be the same verbiage. You know what he asked me? He said, "Is it a Moroccan community in San Clemente?" That's the first question. Is it a Moroccan community? Is it a Moorish community in San Clemente? Why did he want to know that? Why is that the first thing he said? Because it's power.
Why bother put one out if there's not one there?
Exactly. There's no community in that area where he's at. Because if it was, we would control the politics where he's at. He would be basically like kissing our ass, like, "Oh yeah, we need your votes. What can we do?" Yeah, you're right. Let's get this established. Rights of indigenous people. Oh yeah, you're right, sir. If we have right, but that's not the climate. We too scattered. We too scattered. So these are other things we can do creatively to reach the same goals until we're like that in an area and call that our headquarters to pull international strings like that, right? Government to government relationship with the municipality heads, right? Any other statements, comments, questions, concerns?
I know there were some questions in the chat. I don't know if we addressed it when it came to, I think Elian Bay, you were asking, will HUD recognize the American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People?
Nice. Yeah.
That I wanted to answer that pretty much like what Mafia was saying. We're gonna grab all the documents together and like build our case pretty much to present to them like who we are, right? We're not Indians, not Native Americans, Moors, right? So we're gonna go pretty much put any document that we could put together, we're gonna put together to draw a picture for them of who we are. So whatever that takes. So we'll see if they recognize it or not. But with all these documents and things that we're putting together, it opens up, a can of worms for them to look at, because HUD is the United States Department of Housing, right? If we're presenting these documents and we're putting it together to show a story of like what this is, then it's gonna open up to the United States like this information.
Yeah, what they know about the information is just somebody that attempted to do it in the way we're trying to do it. Has anybody attempted to pull the trigger in this way?
But then there's also like that not everyone is uniform on the information.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The way we're going about it, it might not have been people doing it like we're doing it. So that's what makes it. That's why I think it might be new, unique, and may have a shot. Just based on that. But to say they don't know about the information, they know about it. The United States knows about the treaties and they know about the Moors. It just hasn't been organizations that have mobilized in real time like this. So hopefully we get a favorable reply. But like I say, even if it doesn't work, we still need to put together a proposal. And then we got people that know their culture, people from you go everywhere. We go restaurants, Middle Eastern community, or like the prophet say, our brothers from the East. Will angel investor our program. We don't have to have it by the government. It's people that assist us by us doing noble activity and keep it consistent. So we'll have a proposal intact. So this was good, in my opinion, good good progress as far as in totality. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Any other thoughts before we close out here? I'm gonna read one chapter from the Quran and close out the meeting for today. The divine origin of the Asiatic nations. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructions of all Moorish Americans, etc. The key to civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moorish, who were ancient Moabites and founders of the Holy City of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and the direct descendants of Mizraim. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, the Japanese and Chinese, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites of the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations of North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans of North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, the Chileans in South America, the Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed in Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founding of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. Islam. The official meeting is over. Any type of dialogue. Let me turn the recording off.